Chapter 758. What? Xia Ping was taken aback. He didn't expect that a spaceship would lose control and crash into his ship. He could clearly hear the screams of many people around the airport. They didn't dare to watch this dangerous traffic accident, thinking that it will cause a huge disaster. Lost control? No, this isn't losing control. Xia Ping's eyes flashed with a cold light because he could see that this black spaceship is heading straight for his moon god. If it was losing control, it would definitely break. The problem is that this black spaceship is different. It has a target. It seems to be aiming at him, planning to collide with his moon god. It's vicious. Interesting. I'll let you crash into me. Let's see what tricks you can play. Xia Ping wasn't worried at all. His moon god is a battleship, a spaceship that cost trillions to buy. Its defense is extremely strong. Even if it were to face hundreds of missiles at the same time, it wouldn't be damaged in the slightest. If he had to make a comparison, it would be that his spaceship is a tank and the other party is a broken bicycle. The other party actually dared to crash into him like this. It's suicidal. In the blink of an eye, the black spaceship crashed into him. Xia Ping also activated the moon god's defense system, immediately setting up a transparent energy shield on the surface of the spaceship. Bang! Suddenly, a huge sound wave shook the surroundings, as if it vibrated thousands of times. The terrifying impact hit the moon god, causing the surrounding air to condense and disperse in all directions. This energy turned into swords, cutting the ground and leaving shocking marks. Many nearby spaceships were cut by this energy, leaving a lot of marks on them. However, the moon god didn't move at all. The terrifying impact was weakened by the defense of the energy shield. In the end, it dissipated between heaven and earth. The black spaceship, on the other hand, was not so lucky. It suffered such a strong impact, and a huge dent immediately appeared on it. With a cracking sound, some of the internal components were destroyed, and the people inside were shaken to the point of disorientation. Even the core engine of the spaceship was overloaded, emitting a lot of smoke as if it was about to explode. The two spaceships stopped on the ground next to each other. A huge pit appeared on the ground and thick smoke rose. Obviously, this is a huge traffic accident. Many people saw the situation and surrounded them. At the same time, the airport police also appeared to maintain order. The fire brigade also came to extinguish the flames caused by the spaceship to prevent a fire. But Xia Ping opened the hatch and walked down from the moon god. The hatch of the other party's black private spaceship also opened, and a young man in a white suit appeared. He had oily hair, combed back, and polished leather shoes. His eyes seemed to grow on his forehead, and he didn't look anyone in the eye. He was followed by more than a dozen followers, and just like that, he walked out of the black private spacecraft. At this time, many curious people also gathered around, wanting to know what was going on. They surrounded the area. Do you have eyes in your head? You actually came crashing down from the sky. Do you want to die? Xia Ping stared at the man in the white suit and immediately questioned him with a stern tone. It's none of your business. The man in the white suit said disdainfully, the sky is so big. I, Huozhen, can go wherever I want. If I kill you, I'll just have to compensate you. That's nothing. He acted like he was rich and didn't care about money at all. Huozhen? You're from the Huo family? Xia Ping narrowed his eyes and looked at the man in the white suit. The man in the white suit sneered. That's right, I'm from the Huo family. Thanks for your care previously, you caused chaos in the entire Huo family and caused us to suffer huge losses. You have guts. Today, I'm just saying hello. You'd better be careful when you walk in the future. Sooner or later, a car will hit you and kill you. He threatened without the slightest scruple. The reason why he drove the spacecraft over was obviously because he knew that the owner of the spacecraft was Xia Ping. Huozhen also remembered the grudge between the Huo family and Xia Ping. Therefore, he immediately gave the order to crash Xia Ping's spacecraft to teach this arrogant kid a lesson. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to take this lying down. Police, did you hear what he said? He's driving with malicious intent. I suggest that we arrest him and lock him up for a few hundred years, Xia Ping said to the police who had rushed over. What? The man in the white suit, Huozhen, heard this and his face turned green. This kid was very vicious. He even wanted to call the police to arrest him and lock him up for a few hundred years. He clearly wanted to kill him. If he really succeeded, his life would be completely over. Thinking of this, he hurriedly said, Police, don't listen to this kid's nonsense. I was just joking. This time, it was purely an accident. I absolutely didn't have the slightest intention of murder. He swore to the heavens that it was an accident. After all, an accident and malicious murder were simply two different crimes. Whether it was an accident or not, the police will naturally investigate. However, you violated the traffic law and made a mistake, causing this serious traffic accident. You need to compensate for all the losses, the police said in a deep voice. He expressed that Huozhen would take full responsibility. It doesn't matter. This is a small matter. No matter how much it costs, I can afford it. The man in the white suit, Huozhen, sneered. Any problem that could be solved with money was not a problem. Moreover, how much money would it cost to repair a private spacecraft? A few 100 million federal coins would be the limit. He felt that it was worth it to spend a few 100 million to disgust this kid and vent the anger of the Huo family. Sir, what do you think? The police looked at Xia Ping. Xia Ping said lightly, Since he wants to compensate, let him pay. However, I bought insurance for this spacecraft. I'll let the insurance company talk to him. After saying that, he made a phone call and informed the giant insurance company, explaining the details. Not long after, the manager of the giant insurance company and 7 or 8 of his subordinates followed. They wore black suits and had serious expressions. There was no other way because this matter was very serious. It was a super battleship that was hit. In the insurance company, it was considered a super huge amount of compensation. They had no choice but to be cautious. Well, I've heard the details from Mr. Xia. The result is obvious. You are fully responsible. The insurance manager's tone was very serious. This is the compensation amount. I hope you will pay as soon as possible. Otherwise, we will send you a lawyer's letter. After saying that, he sent an electronic document to Huozhen. Chapter 759. 70 billion. Hearing this number, the group of onlookers was so scared that their eyeballs almost popped out of their sockets. Huozhen wasn't the only one who was completely shocked. Everyone present was shocked. If they had to pay 70 billion federal dollars, they might as well just buy a new spaceship. After all, the top private spaceship, the Luminous God, was only worth 40 to 50 billion federal dollars. But now they had to pay 70 billion just for a collision. If this wasn't robbery, then what was? Blackmail. This is clearly blackmail. Huozhen couldn't help but scream. This kid wants to work with the insurance company to extort money from me. How brazen! How dare he do this? Police, you see how vile their behavior is. They are simply defying the law and the police. They don't care about you at all. He immediately put a few labels on Xia Ping for contempt of the law. Don't show off here if you don't have money, Xia Ping said disdainfully. Didn't you say that no matter how much money you have, you can afford it? Are you still a descendant of the Huo family with such a small amount of money? Bullsh *T. Huozhen cursed. 70 billion, that's a whole 70 billion. Do you think it's $700? Even a grandmaster would vomit blood if he lost 70 billion. Do you think this is a small amount? The Huo family is rich, but you can't scam us like this. Do you think the Huo family is your ATM? You can just enter a few passwords and take away a bunch of money? Let me tell you, there's no way you can scam me. Police, hurry up and arrest these scammers and lock them up for a few decades. Huozhen was so angry that his nose was crooked. This was the first time in his life that he had met such a bastard. He casually bumped into this guy's spaceship, and now he had to pay 70 billion. Was there such a logic in this world? Sir, please explain. Are you really trying to extort money from me? You should know that this is a very serious violation of the law. The police looked at Xia Ping and the insurance manager very seriously. The insurance manager immediately said, "Sir, this is not blackmail. It's a compensation amount that was calculated after a series of rigorous calculations. Even if we go to court, we can still win the case." He expressed that he was not blackmailing them. "Win your ass." Huozhen was infuriated. "Do you think we're stupid? Do you think we'll believe you just because you said a few words? Just a touch and the skin didn't even break, yet you want me to compensate you 70 billion? You still say this is a meticulous plan? Why don't you just die?" He had finally seen what it meant to be a thick-skinned person. This was the kind of person who would lie through their teeth. Even if they were trying to blackmail someone, they shouldn't be like this. "Mr. Hua, perhaps you still don't know what you hit," the insurance manager said solemnly. "This is no ordinary private spaceship, but a super battleship, the culmination of human technology. Its cost is 7 trillion federal coins." "What?" When the people around heard these words, their faces turned green and they were scared half to death. Such a spaceship looked ordinary on the outside, but the construction cost was as high as 7 trillion federal coins. Huozhen's mind went blank from the shock. Such a super battleship was actually hit by your spaceship. It needs to be repaired. The insurance manager said solemnly, "The cost of a single repair is as high as 50 billion federal coins. To replace some of the damaged parts, it will cost about 20 billion federal coins. Fortunately, your spaceship isn't very powerful and didn't cause any damage to this battleship. If there was even a little bit of damage, the price might not be this high. It's even possible to compensate 700 billion. What the hell?" Hearing this, the people around were scared out of their wit. If there was even a little damage, they would have to compensate 700 billion federal coins. How was this a spaceship? It was clearly a hedgehog. Whoever touched it would have to go bankrupt. If this kid didn't like anyone and just rubbed this spaceship against someone else's spaceship, the other party would probably lose their pants and have to work for him for the rest of their lives. Immediately, many people were so scared that they took a dozen steps back. They were afraid that if they scratched the spaceship, they would have to pay hundreds of millions. This was a sum that ordinary people would have to pay for the rest of their lives. This was just like on Earth in his previous life. The sports cars driven by the super-rich were worth tens of millions. Those sports cars were delicate and expensive, and changing a tire would cost hundreds of thousands. Even the slightest scratch would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to repair. Ordinary people wouldn't dare to touch these super sports cars. Bang! Huozhen was so scared that he collapsed to the ground. His face was pale and he cried miserably, Mr. Xia, spare me this time. I didn't do it on purpose, I really didn't do it on purpose. 70 billion is really too much. I can't afford it." He was so scared that he peed his pants. If it was a few 100 million, he could casually take it out, but 70 billion was too frightening. If he really took it out, he would have to go bankrupt. The 7 or 8 lackeys behind him were also scared half to death. They knew that their young master had gotten into trouble this time. It was really big trouble. They originally thought that this was a good opportunity to teach that kid a lesson, but who would have thought that before he could even show off, he would be scared to this extent. Now it was even possible that he would go bankrupt. But who would have thought that the spaceship this kid was driving was simply a hedgehog? It couldn't be touched at all. One touch would make him go bankrupt. If he had known that the cost of this spaceship was so terrifying, he wouldn't have done such a thing even if he was beaten to death. "This has nothing to do with me. I have already given full authority to the insurance company to handle this matter. You can discuss it with them yourself," Xia Ping said indifferently, indicating that this had nothing to do with him. Discuss with the insurance company? Discuss my ass. Huozhen knew that if he wasn't the one paying, it would be the insurance company. It was conceivable that the insurance company would never let him pay so much money. They would definitely find trouble with him. Mr. Xia, I was wrong, I was really wrong. Spare me this time, just spare me this time. In the future, I will definitely not go against you. When I see you, I will turn around and leave, avoiding you. Huozhen cried like a child. He was so scared by the compensation of 70 billion that he collapsed. His legs went soft and he was paralyzed on the ground. If his father knew that he had to pay 70 billion, he would probably break his legs. Forgive you? You are the person who wanted to kill me with your car. If I forgive you, who will forgive me when the time comes? It's fine if you don't pay. Just wait to go to jail. Xia Ping couldn't be bothered with a clown like Huozhen. He turned around and left. No, no, no! Don't go, don't go! Huozhen screamed in despair. Mr. Hua, let's talk about the compensation. If the money is not enough, you can mortgage your spaceship, your house, your stocks, and your company. The insurance manager stepped forward and blocked Huozhen. He smiled and thought of all kinds of ways to snatch money. Chapter 760. Seeing Xia Ping quickly leave the airport, the crowd was in an uproar. Looking at the fainted Huozhen, they all felt pity for him. Tragic, this is too tragic. He's a descendant of the Hua family, the descendant of a king. I didn't expect him to be so scared. There's nothing we can do about it. 70 billion, that's 70 billion. Even the descendant of a king can't take out so much in such a short time. How can he not be scared? If it was an ordinary person, he would have been scared to death. His parents, wife, and children would have broken up with him. At first, this brat was still acting cool here, saying that it didn't matter how much he had to pay. Now, he has to pay 70 billion. He's not scared to death. Who would have thought that this ship would be so terrifying? Who can afford it? It costs 7 billion. I've learned something today. We can't touch this ship. We'll go bankrupt if we touch it. The surrounding people were all shocked. They were incomparably afraid of this moon god ship. If they ended up like Huozhen, the scene would be unimaginable. They probably even had the heart to die. This news quickly spread to the Hua family, instantly causing the anger of countless elders. This brat is simply trying to scam us. He wants our Hua family to pay 70 billion. Why doesn't he just rob a bank? One of the elders cursed. He was practically going crazy. Previously, Xia Ping had scammed them of 500 billion. This matter wasn't over yet. Now they had to pay 70 billion. That brat is simply treating our Hua family as an ATM. He can come and take money whenever he wants. This is ridiculous. We definitely can't interfere in this matter. We can't compensate. That's right, that's right. Why should we compensate him? 70 billion just for a bit? Why can't he just go to heaven? A few elders of the Hua family gritted their teeth. When they heard this news, they were so shocked that they jumped up on the spot. This brat had scammed them of yet another sum of money. Who could accept this? What can we do if we don't compensate? We have witnesses and material evidence. Moreover, the giant insurance company has sent a lawyer's letter asking for compensation. An elder said helplessly. Now, it's not Xia Ping asking for compensation. It's the giant insurance company asking for compensation. It can be said that this matter has nothing to do with Xia Ping. The insurance company will handle it. Without a doubt, once we go to court, there will be witnesses and material evidence. We will definitely lose. We might even resist stubbornly and be unwilling to admit our guilt. Who knows, we might even get more compensation. He indicated that the matter would not be so easily settled. Damn it, how did that brat buy such a terrifying spaceship? He just cheated a few demon kings out of 7 trillion federal coins. Of course he has money. That's a super battleship we're talking about. The cost is terrifying. Even the Hua family can't afford it. How can this kid be willing to? It's said that there are terrifying laser cannons installed on it that can even kill kings. This brat is very afraid of death, so of course he's fully equipped. What a lucky bastard. With this super battleship, who can kill him? He can do whatever he wants in the sky realm. Many of the Hua family's elders were green with envy. They had worked so hard for so many years, yet they could not even afford a fraction of a warship. Now, this kid had casually obtained one. It was truly infuriating to compare oneself with others. The Hua family's patriarch, Hua Yongming, shivered as he secretly rejoiced. Fortunately, he had not impulsively gone to find trouble with Xia Ping. Otherwise, if he had encountered such a warship, he would have been blasted to death on the spot. At that time, he would have died in vain. In short, we have no choice but to compensate for this. If this matter continues to blow up, the Hua family's reputation will be tarnished. No matter what, we have to minimize the impact of this matter, Hua Yongming said in a low voice. Since they could not win a lawsuit, they might as well admit defeat and compensate. If they continued to stubbornly resist, it would only make the situation ugly, and they would not be able to extricate themselves. I'm sorry, elders. This matter is my son's fault. Hua Zhen's father looked ashamed. I've already broken both his legs and told him to reflect at home. He actually did such a stupid thing and was discovered by so many people. It's hard to hide it. There's nothing we can do. Young people are always young and impetuous. That's right. If I were to see that kid, I would probably not be able to control my anger. No matter what, Hua Zhen is a member of the Hua family. He cannot be sent to prison. A few of the Hua family's elders said in a low voice. They were very helpless. This was simply an undeserved disaster. They had to compensate 70 billion just for a small incident. Anyone who encountered such a situation would vomit blood. Xia Ping, the Hua family and you are absolutely irreconcilable. Hua Yongming gritted his teeth. His hatred for Xia Ping was even deeper. It could be said that every member of the Hua family wanted to bite this B*****starred. How much did this kid want to bully them? At this time, Xia Ping had just left the airport when he was greeted by 15 men in tuxedos. The leader was a middle-aged man with a scar on his face. He exuded a strong aura. He was an expert at the peak of the Grand Master stage. The other men in tuxedos were also experts at the Grand Master stage. Young Master Xia. The man with the scar stepped forward and said respectfully, "We are the people sent by the giant company to welcome you. My name is Feng Wanliang. At the same time, I am also young Master Xia's personal bodyguard." What? Although Xia Ping had long known that being a core member of the giant company would give him many privileges, he did not expect that they would send a group of bodyguards at the Grand Master stage casually. However, he was also a person who had been through a lot and was already used to this kind of thing. He said, "All right, now what should we do next?" "Young master, please follow me." The man with the scar said in a deep voice, "The giant company has already arranged a place for young master to stay in the giant city. It is a villa in the inner city." The area of the giant city was huge, but it was also divided into the outer city and the inner city. The outer city occupied more than 90% of the area, while the inner city only occupied 10% of the area. The problem was that the inner city was the core area of the giant city. Its defense was very strong. Even if a king realm cultivator tried to barge in, they would be killed by the defense system. That was the true wealthy district. Every house in the inner city was priceless. Unless one was a king realm cultivator, they wouldn't be able to afford it. As for the villa, only the higher-ups of the giant company could live in it. Others couldn't buy it even if they had the money. The group of bodyguards at the side looked at Xia Ping with envy. Although Xia Ping was not a higher-up of the giant company, his status was similar to the higher-ups. It could be said that with such a talent, becoming a king realm cultivator was a sure thing. "All right, let's go then." Xia Ping nodded. After that, he followed the butler Feng Wanliang into a hover car beside the airport and sped along the way. Along the way, they passed by many luxurious high-rise buildings. Finally, they entered the deepest part of the island and came to a place where birds sang and flowers bloomed. There were many luxurious villas built everywhere. Chapter 761. Young Master. As soon as Xia Ping entered the villa, he immediately saw 2 rows of beautiful maids standing on both sides of the villa's hall. There were more than 10 to 20 of them in each row. Each of them was dressed in maid attire, showing off their impressive figures. They all looked like they were ready to be picked by Xia Ping. It seemed that if Xia Ping wanted to push them down and play all kinds of unspoken rules, they wouldn't have any resistance. This was simply a life of luxury. It was too corrupt. Xia Ping secretly criticized in his heart. He felt very emotional. This was clearly eroding his outstanding willpower. But he could withstand it. Young Master. The butler Feng Wanliang introduced. These maids will be responsible for taking care of young master's daily life. They are also responsible for cleaning the place, taking care of the garden, cooking in the kitchen, and so on. Please rest assured. These are all maids that have been carefully selected. They are definitely of superb standard. As for us bodyguards, we are responsible for the security of the villa's surroundings, in case some thieves invade. He introduced these maids to Xia Ping. Isn't this Su Ji? Xia Ping was unscrupulously sizing up these beautiful maids, paying attention to all kinds of important parts. Soon, he found a great beauty that stood out from the crowd. Even though she was also wearing a maid attire, this great beauty still exuded an otherworldly temperament. Her figure was simply arrogant. Her legs were astonishingly straight, and her waist was slender. She exuded endless charm from head to toe, making it impossible for people to ignore her. But he also knew this great beauty. It was Su Ji. He didn't expect that this little girl didn't stay in Yanhuang University. Instead, she followed him to the giant city and even came to his villa to be a maid. This was far beyond his expectations. Young Master also knows this chief maid? What a coincidence! Feng Wanliang immediately praised. This chief maid is proficient in 18 languages. She knows all kinds of household chores. At the same time, she is also familiar with federal laws and knows all kinds of commercial articles. She is also good at politics. Even her martial arts cultivation is extremely outstanding. She is only 18 years old, and she is already at the 4th layer of martial master. Her talent is amazing. Most importantly, she asks for a low salary. She is a rare maid secretary. He was incomparably moved. Such an outstanding woman would be a heaven's pride no matter where she was placed. Moreover, she was exceptionally beautiful, but such a woman was actually willing to become a maid. It was simply inconceivable. Xia Ping faintly smiled. Su Ji is a direct descendant of the Su family. Since childhood, she has received an elite education, learned countless knowledge, and was admitted to Yanhuang University. She is an absolutely talented woman with an IQ that is off the charts. No matter what era she was in, she was definitely a strong woman. It would be strange if she wasn't powerful. What are you doing here? Don't tell me you want to seduce me? Xia Ping curiously asked, looking at Su Ji. Su Ji's pretty face suddenly turned red, very angry. Who wants to seduce you? This is all forced. If you dare to touch me, I will fight with you. She clenched her fists. If Xia Ping dared to touch her, she would fight to the death with this shameless man. In fact, in the past few days, Su Ji never thought that such a thing would happen. Even if you beat her to death, she never thought that she, the dignified Miss Su, would actually become this beast's maid. However, she received an order from her family's elder, asking her to be Xia Ping's maid. If there was an opportunity, she would capture this outstanding man and make him the Su family's son-in-law. After all, everyone knew that Xia Ping's future was boundless. In the future, he would definitely become a king, and even had the opportunity to become an invincible king. If she could capture such a wealthy son-in-law, it would simply be a small capital with great profits. No stock could be more profitable than this. If the Sioux family had an invincible king's son-in-law as a backer, the Sioux family could simply walk unhindered in the cloud realm. Who would dare to provoke them? In fact, their family also relied on this to develop and strengthen. Relying on the Sioux family's daughter, they continuously married with the outside world. With a lot of help, they developed into a super family that no one dared to provoke. Obviously, they now had their eyes on this outstanding potential stock, Xiaoping, so they sent Su Ji to get close to Xiaoping. As the saying goes, the pavilion closest to the water enjoys the moonlight first. In this world, was there anything better than a maid that could get closer to the master? The two of them were together day and night. After a long time, they would develop feelings for each other. In fact, the maids who came into this villa were all beautiful like flowers. Their appearance was several levels higher than ordinary maids. They were actually the outstanding descendants sent by the big families. Their purpose was the same as Su Ji's. They wanted to rely on the identity of a maid to have a relationship beyond friendship with their master, Xia Ping. At the same time, they could obtain his bloodline and have outstanding descendant. Forced? Who can force the Su family's eldest daughter? Xia Ping blinked his eyes. Thinking about this, Su Ji became even angrier. She was so angry that her chest was stuffy. The number of people who could force her in this world could be counted on one's fingers. Among them were the Su family's elders and her parents. She remembered a few days ago in the Su family's mansion, she received an urgent call and went back to the Su family. Unexpectedly, when her mother saw her, the first sentence she said was sincere and heartfelt. Su Ji, you're not young anymore. It's time for you to get married. I think that Xiaoping, who has a scandal with you, is not bad. He's a very good young man. His martial arts aptitude is simply monstrous. Becoming a king is a sure thing. You have to grab this rich husband and don't let him go. This is a good stock that can be held for a long time. These words immediately made Su Ji angry. She immediately refused. No, that guy is a beast. He also has one foot in several boats. He likes to put on a green hat for women. He's extremely hateful. It's okay. In the beginning, your father was also an animal. But after he followed me, he was subdued. Now, he's very well behaved. If I tell him to go east, he won't go west. If I tell him to drink tea, he won't dare to drink wine. Su Ji's mother showed her husband taming skills. Su Ji weakly said, I'm only 18. I'm still young. I don't think about this kind of thing. You're not young anymore, you're already 18 years old. You're already mature. When your mother was your age, she already gave birth to your sister. Su Ji's mother argued with reason and evidence, making Su Ji speechless. Su Ji immediately used her sister as an excuse. But isn't my sister, Su Mei, not married? If my sister doesn't marry, how could my sister dare to marry? This is not in line with the rules. Don't mention your sister. Su Ji's mother angrily said, don't learn from the good. Learn from the bad. She's a negative teaching material, a very bad example. I don't know how many girls in the family have been led astray by her. They all began to marry late and have children late. She's already 27 or 28, yet she's still not married. In a few years, she'll be an old leftover woman. All she does is practice martial arts until she's crazy. She can't even learn the ability to hook a rich man. You tell me, what's the use of growing up like this? The most annoying thing is, she actually wants to be promoted to a king. My God, just the fact that she became a grandmaster scared off a lot of outstanding boys. If she becomes a king, which young man would dare to marry her? Don't tell me she'll marry those old kings? I'm telling you, Su Ji, don't ever learn from your sister. You must learn from her. Chapter 762. Hearing these words, Su Ji went mad with anger. Becoming a king was a glorious thing. Regardless of status, it would be greatly improved, and everyone would respect you. However, her mother actually thought that her sister becoming a king was a very bad thing. She thought that it would hinder her sister's marriage, and make her a leftover woman. However, she also had to admit that her mother's worries were indeed right. Once Su Mei became a king, her status would greatly improve. Even some outstanding men from the king's family would shrink back and would not dare to marry Su Mei. After all, the gap between the two sides was too big. If you don't become a king, you'll still be an ant. This gap was not the gap between the poor and the rich, but the gap between a monkey and a human. It was the difference in the essence of life. It could not be mentioned in the same breath. It could be imagined that once her sister advanced to the king realm, it was estimated that there would not be many men who would dare to propose marriage. Therefore, her mother was deeply worried that Su Mei would become a leftover woman and would not have any luck with men. Therefore, with her sister as a negative example, she, as the younger sister, was under great pressure. She was afraid that she would follow in her sister's footsteps and start to force marriage at the age of 18. By the way, according to reliable information, this time Xia Ping will go to the giant city. He will live there for a long time. Su Ji's mother said, "You will go with him and become his personal maid." As the saying goes, the pavilion closest to the water enjoys the moonlight first. If you become his maid, you will be with him day and night. After a long time, you will develop feelings for him. Of course, don't always be ambiguous. You have to take the last step and create an opportunity. When the rice is cooked, he won't be able to run away. If this kid is a blockhead and doesn't know how to have fun, you will have to drug him. She gave Su Ji a lot of ideas. Blockhead my ass. Su Ji was so angry that she cried. If she really dared to come to his door, she was sure that this beast would eat her up. How is he a blockhead? When that bastard acts like a beast, he is not a human at all. Moreover, her mother wanted her to drug that shameless man and cook the rice. Isn't this clearly pushing her into the fire pit? She really wants me to get married. However, I've also received some news. It's not just our Su clan's women who have taken a fancy to that brat. Many king's clans also wish for him to become their son-in-law. They've sent many of their female servants to become servants, having the same idea as our Su clan. Mother Su said warily, "You must be careful not to let other women do it. You have a kind nature, but other women are different. They are ferocious tigers, the kind that can eat men whole. If there's a chance, they won't mind drugging you." She reminded Su Ji that this time she has a lot of competitors. Su Ji was so angry that she almost died. She really couldn't understand. That guy is just a beast. How come so many women are like moths to a flame? Don't they know how hateful this guy is? That's right, it must be because those women haven't seen through this bastard's true nature, that's why they're so willing. Furthermore, it's not like you won't get any benefits from going to the City of Giants. Now that you've become an elite student and advanced to the fourth firmament of a martial master, your progress shouldn't be that great if you stay in school. Mother Su continued to tempt her. If you go to the City of Giants, that place is full of grandmasters, kings, and resources. Presumably, you can get a lot of growth there. This doesn't conflict with your cultivation plan, and you can also hook up with men, killing two birds with one stone. She blinked her eyes and looked at her daughter. Mom, I know, I'll go, okay? Su Ji knew that her mother was going to force herself on her. Even if she didn't agree, she would still force her to do it. However, although she was going to be his slave, it didn't necessarily mean that she would have any relationship with that shameless man. She could completely do business, wait for a period of time, and then spread some false news, saying that the guy didn't like her. At that time, this matter would naturally end, and she could also take the opportunity to get some benefit. Therefore, Su Ji was sent to Xia Ping's villa to be a maid, and by virtue of her own outstanding ability, she smoothly became the head maid. Forget it, I'm not interested in how you came to be, Xia Ping said carelessly. In short, you'll be my maid from now on. In the future, you have to do things seriously, otherwise you'll be punished, understand? He looked as if he was up to no good. Punishment? Hearing this, Suji's face turned pale. She remembered all kinds of master's punishments for maids, all kinds of training. It was clear that he wanted to do a lot of shameless things to her. No, I absolutely can't let this bad guy find an excuse to punish me. Yes, yes, master. Suji's pretty face turned red. She had never called a man like this in her life. This was the first time. It was simply a public execution. But as a maid, she can't do anything disrespectful to her master, otherwise she would definitely be punished. Very good. Xia Ping was very satisfied. To let a delicate beauty call him like this, he estimated that even the ancient emperor was no better. Young master. At this time, the butler Feng Wanliang opened his mouth and said, "From now on, this villa belongs to young master. This is the key to this villa. Now that young master's genetic information has been input, no one can touch this villa's defense system except young master." He took out a golden key and handed it to Xia Ping. Xia Ping took it and looked at it. He didn't know what material it was made of, but it seemed to contain a mysterious energy. Feng Wanliang didn't stop and continued, "If you encounter any danger, as long as young master wills it, this AI defense system will immediately transform into a ball of energy and instantly teleport young master to a safe place. You can even use the energy of the defense system to trap and kill the enemy." He showed off the villa's powerful defense system, indicating that even if a king-level expert wanted to invade, it would be impossible. Once discovered by the defense system, the enemy would be dead for sure and would be directly killed. So powerful, Xia Ping praised. With a thought, he could teleport away. This kind of energy utilization technology was simply amazing. It was similar to the technology of Yanhuang University and Combat City. The defense system was even more powerful. After all, this was the endless sea, and one had to fight against tyrannical monsters that appeared from the deep sea. Without enough power, how could one survive? It was no wonder that these villas in the giant city were priceless and couldn't be bought with money. With this kind of defense, even king-level experts would fight for it. Why would they give it to others? If he wasn't a core member of the giant company and had a bright future, he probably wouldn't be able to get it. Okay, I'm going to rest. If there's anything, I'll call you guys. Xia Ping stretched. He rushed here from Yanhuang University and was a bit tired, so he wanted to rest for a while. Chapter 763. At this time, in the villa's kitchen, 7 or 8 beautiful maids were busy preparing dinner. I didn't expect the head maid to know the master. It is said that they are classmates. I wonder what is the relationship between them. A little maid said in a gossipy manner. What else could it be? The head maid is a member of the Su family. Her elder sister is the famous Su Mei. She can be said to be a heroine among girls. She is known as one of the future queens. A long-legged maid was very clear about Su Ji. She said, "It can be said that Su Ji has a promising future. She is the direct descendant of the Su family. She is known as the Pearl of the Su family. Now she actually came to the giant city and is willing to be a maid." Even if you think with your knees, you know there is something fishy going on between these two. She was like Sherlock Holmes. She was very observant. She was very sure that there must be something going on between the two. No way. She is so beautiful and so excellent. Moreover, she has known her for a long time. Do we still have hope? A pure maid wailed. She suddenly felt that her future was bleak. With such an excellent woman by his side, she even chased him from the school. Invisible people like them had no hope at all. They were all cannon fodder. It's okay. A proud girl like her has only been surrounded by men since she was a child. How could she have the experience of being surrounded by men? First of all, she lacks the means to seduce men. She is simply a rookie. The long-legged maid was full of confidence. As long as we use all kinds of martial arts, we will be able to hook this rich husband Xia Ping. It is already in the bag. She said that Su Ji was not her opponent. That's right. Although Su Ji looks like a goddess, she is a dead fish in bed. Yeah. How can she compare to us who have been trained? First of all, she can't let go of her self-esteem. I'm not bragging. Although I have no experience, I have studied 108 adult CDs. I have mastered mature theoretical knowledge and know all kinds of movement. Next, I just need to wait for the practice. Moreover, we don't need to fight with her. As long as we have cooked rice with the master and have his child, how can he run away? Isn't he afraid that we will run away with the ball? Indeed, this is a good plan. With the child, we will win. It seems that we have to quickly implement this cooked rice plan. A few beautiful maids were chattering excitedly. They were all talking about how they could take advantage of their master's unprepared and secretly push him down. Or, they would wear all kinds of revealing clothes, fall down and deliberately expose themselves, deliberately provoking their masters to lose their rationality and unleash their bestial instincts. They would then give in and let nature take its course. Ahem, are you guys very free? You're actually chatting in the kitchen? Suddenly, a coughing sound came from outside the kitchen. Several maids immediately looked over and saw Su Ji standing outside the door. Suddenly, their faces turned pale with fright. Before, they were unscrupulously talking about Su Ji, speaking ill of her behind her back. But now, all of them have been heard. Head maid, when did you come? A pure maid stammered while looking at Su Ji. Su Ji lightly said, I came when you said I was a dead fish in bed. It can't be, right? Doesn't that mean he heard everything they said? A group of maids were scared half to death. If Su Ji gave them a hard time, they would probably wear it until they died. Head maid, we actually don't mean that. A long-legged maid stammered. Su Ji waved her hand and said, I don't care whether you mean that or not. In short, your job now is to prepare tonight's dinner. But take a look at what you've actually prepared. So this is how you prepare dinner. She was very angry and pointed at the various ingredients in the kitchen. Head maid, what's the problem with preparing these ingredients? The pure maid blinked her eyes. Su Ji was so angry that she laughed. Why do you still ask? Take a look at what these ingredients are. Dog meat, lamb, chives, loach, ginseng, deer antler, sheep penis, tiger penis. Oh my God, are you trying to kill him? Who told you to prepare these things? She was furious. Each of the above ingredients has only one function, and that is to strengthen the body. Usually, eating a few of these foods is enough to stimulate a man. But now, she cooked so many of them. If he continues to eat them, she doesn't know what will happen to Xia Ping. Maybe he will really become a beast, the kind that loses his mind. Hearing this, the long-legged maid said with a guilty conscience, Master is a grandmaster. I think he practices martial arts every day, so his body is very weak. So, I want to find some ingredients to supplement him. That's right. Practicing martial arts every day will consume a lot of energy. Hearing this, the pure maid rolled her eyes. She couldn't see any sincerity on her face at all. She felt extremely guilty. We are also thinking about Master's body. There's nothing wrong with it. That's right. Isn't it a matter of course to supplement Master's body? Several maids chattered, saying that they didn't have any ulterior motives, but for the sake of Master's body. They were worried that Xia Ping's weak body would affect his martial arts foundation. Weak my ass. Su Ji gritted her teeth. That bastard pretended to be like a calf. If anyone dares to say that his body is weak, I promise I won't slap him to death. There is no doubt that if that beast Xia Ping eats this medicated diet tonight, his body will probably be on fire. Coupled with these beautiful maids' reluctance, perhaps he will be in an absurd situation for the whole night. Even she is in danger of losing her virginity. After all, who knows what this bastard will do after losing his mind? Shut up. Suji snappily said, "Don't eat these things. You want to supplement him to death. Quickly remove them and bring back some normal dishes. Otherwise, all of you will be punished." She took out the majesty of a chief maid and issued an order. "Chief maid, the other ingredients are okay, but I think this tiger's penis is not bad. It can be used to supplement master's body. It can also be made into a main dish." The long-legged maid unwillingly said, "Shut up and listen to me. What supplement? Master's body is as vigorous as a dragon and as fierce as a tiger. Why would he need to take supplements? If he can't take it and an accident happens, can you bear the consequences?" Suji clenched her teeth and said, "Immediately change the dishes. If you're late, I'll fire you." "Yes, chief maid." Suddenly, several maids were scared half to death. They quickly removed these dishes with ulterior motive. Some of the maids were still unwilling. They secretly kept these ingredients, waiting for the next opportunity to serve Xia Ping. Chapter 764. At this moment, in the master bedroom of the villa, Xia Ping didn't know about the fight between the maids. At this moment, he was opening the internal network of the giant company and was looking at all sorts of top-secret mission information. Mission. He clenched his fists and looked at the list of missions seriously. As a core member of the giant company, there were all sorts of privileges and naturally, there were duties that needed to be completed. And the missions given by the giant company were one of the duties that he needed to complete. However, he only needed to complete one mission every year. In that case, after a year, he wouldn't need to complete any more missions. This wasn't too difficult. Of course, even if there wasn't this duty, many members of the giant company would still choose to accept missions. After all, completing a mission would give them rich rewards. Often, some experts at the Grandmaster level would pass through all sorts of missions to obtain large amounts of cultivation resources. If they wished to cultivate faster, they had to accept many missions to increase their strength. But which mission should I complete? Xia Ping touched his chin and looked at all sorts of missions. He didn't want to waste time in the giant city. He wanted to accept a mission to familiarize himself with the surrounding environment. He looked at it. Some missions were to explore unknown areas such as the Death Swamp, the Deep Abyss, the Scorching Island, etc. These places were filled with danger and contained many secrets. They needed to be explored by pioneers to provide clues for later generations. But because these were unknown, they didn't know what dangers they would encounter. Every time they explored, a large number of experts would die. This was a mission with a slim chance of survival. Some missions were to search for treasures. Some clients hoped that the members of the giant company would head to a dangerous place to help them collect spiritual herbs, precious ores, and other treasures. The rewards were also quite high. There were also missions that required one to be a guard, helping to protect a piece of merchandise or a noble with a high status. These kinds of missions were relatively easy, and the rewards were also very high. Usually, when such missions appeared, they would be quickly taken away by others. There are also missions to kill pirates. Xia Ping immediately looked at the missions. There were many wanted posters with large amounts of rewards. If they could kill the pirates on the wanted posters, they would receive rewards from the civilian merchants and the government. The stronger the pirates were, the more dangerous they were, and the higher the reward. It seems that the Endless Sea is indeed a very chaotic area. Xia Ping looked at the information and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Because of the vastness of the Endless Sea, the human clan, the monster clan, the undersea races, and the deep-sea monsters all gathered in this area. Fish and dragons mixed together. There was no place more chaotic than this. In this area, killing was a common occurrence. They fought endlessly. In the Endless Sea, the pirates were the ones who killed the most people. They committed all kinds of crimes, burning, killing, and looting. They brought great trouble to human cities, and countless ordinary people were killed and injured. Among these pirates, some are from the seabed race. They are used to occupying the sea and robbing and killing human ships that pass through this sea. Being targeted by these seabed race, often blood will flow like a river, and the ship will be destroyed. Some of them were human villains and criminals. They had violated the Federation's laws and were sentenced to death. They could no longer live in the normal human world, so they became bandits and occupied an area. There were also some ambitious people who disobeyed federal control and directly became pirates, living free and unfettered. In short, the origin of these pirates was very complicated. They had become a big disaster in the endless sea, and also one of the root causes of chaos. Among the many pirates, hundreds of years have passed, and they have gradually formed a huge pirate group. The most famous one is the 108 pirate group. Their strength ranges from low to high, and they are extremely tyrannical. The strength of some pirate groups is no less than some martial arts organizations, and even the boss of the pirate group is a king. It can be said that these pirates are also one of the overlords of the endless sea. Kill the old shark of the blood shark pirate. Bounty of 10 billion. His strength is the fourth sky of the supreme power realm. His body is a blood shark monster. He is proficient in water warfare. He can be called a hungry wolf in the sea. He is sinister and cunning. Xia Ping looked at the information of one of the missions. When the blood shark pirates appeared, they implemented the 3 lights policy. Kill them all, rob them all, burn them all, and leave no one alive. Their methods are cruel and outrageous. At least tens of thousands of people died in the hands of the blood shark pirates. The blood shark pirates ranked 98. They have more than 10,000 subordinate. Each member is from the seabed race. Ordinary people will quickly flee when they encounter this pirate group. Even from the cold information, he can feel the fierceness and cruelty of the blood shark pirate. If ordinary people encounter such a pirate group in the sea, they will die. After all, they are all seabed race. They are proficient in swimming. Some of them swim faster than ship. Even if they want to escape, it is impossible. If I can kill all the blood shark pirates and sell the heads of those pirates, I can get at least hundreds of billions of federal coins. Xia Ping found that the members of the entire blood shark pirates are wanted. Although the price is not as high as the head of the blood shark pirates, they win in number. Each of the cadres has a bounty of hundreds of millions of federal coins, which is a huge amount. And the blood shark pirates have been running rampant in the endless sea for at least 10 years. I don't know how many treasures they have stored. If I can wipe out this pirate group, I am afraid I can make a lot of money. Xia Ping clenched his fists, and his eyes were shining. He is very short of money. The moon god alone is a super invincible pit. Every year, he needs to spend a lot of money to maintain and repair it. If there is no money, then nothing can be done. Therefore, if he can completely destroy this pirate group, he will definitely get a huge income. Ding. Immediately, a warning word came from the virtual projection. Warning, warning. Given that this is the first time you have accepted a task, this task is dangerous, and the death rate is more than 80%. Please choose carefully. If you quit now, you can cancel this task. Death rate more than 80%. Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. This is indeed a very scary word. It is estimated that any martial artist will think twice when they see this probability. But he is different. He already has a lot of trump cards on him, such as the space ring. If he encounters danger, he can immediately hide in it. Even if it doesn't work, he can directly launch the moon god and launch an attack on those pirates. He can definitely easily annihilate the other party. This kind of task has a very high death rate for others, but for him it is easy. Accept. Xia Ping did not hesitate and immediately pressed accept. Ding. Chapter 765. The next morning, in the living room of the villa. Young master. The butler Feng Wanliang looked at Xia Ping and said, I heard that you took a mission to hunt down the blood shark pirates? To be honest, this group of pirates is very cruel and they have a large number of people. It is not so easy to kill their boss. Moreover, there is an unknown relationship between pirates. Killing one of them is like poking a hornet's nest. Even a master at the peak of Grand Master would not dare to offend them easily. He looked serious and felt that Xia Ping was a bit reckless in taking this mission. It's okay. They are just a group of thieves. I can kill them as easily as killing a dog. Xia Ping didn't care. He had many cards in his hand. Not to mention these pirates, even if there was a king, he could kill them all. Feng Wanliang didn't know his cards, so it was normal for him to be so worried. Even if you are confident that you can destroy those pirates, it will not be easy to find the blood shark pirate. Seeing Xia Ping's confident look, Feng Wanliang didn't say anything more. He told him the difficulty of killing a pirate group. That was to hide the whereabouts of the pirates. After all, the endless sea was too vast. Even now, human beings had explored less than 1% of the sea. There were still many mysterious areas that had not been explored. As long as those pirates hid in the depths of the sea, no matter how powerful they would not be able to find them. Therefore, pirates became one of the scourges of the endless sea. They could not be killed. There is no need to find them. I will let them show themselves and lure the snake out of the hole. Xia Ping smiled. Lure the snake out of the hole? Hearing this, Feng Wanliang was very confused. He didn't know what Xia Ping wanted to do. By the way, can I create a fake identity and show others with another face? Xia Ping asked. Feng Wanliang thought for a moment and said, Young master, do you want to change your identity? That's not a problem. To the giant company, this is a small matter. As long as we change some of the data, we can change the young master to someone else. Also, his resume has been extremely normal since he was young. No one can find any flaws. He was very sure. After all, the giant company was a super force. It was very easy to make up a character's identity. That's good. Xia Ping nodded. His real identity couldn't be exposed in the next plan. Otherwise, many monster kings in the Wanyao mountain would know his whereabouts. It was better to use another identity to deal with this matter. Young master, what should we do next? Feng Wanliang asked curiously. Since Xia Ping said this, he must have thought of a series of plans. Help me hold a press conference to build momentum. Xia Ping smiled mysteriously. Another day later, the entire giant city was covered by an amazing news. Someone claimed to broadcast the killing of the blood shark pirates within a month and even invited hundreds of media in the giant city to help with publicity and hold a press conference. At this time, at the press conference, hundreds of media outlets, big and small, were gathered in the venue. Cameramen, lighting technicians, and other staff were also distributed in every corner. The lineup was powerful, as if a big star was holding a press conference. A young man in a white suit stood on it and said passionately, Don't worry, everyone. In this era where criminals are getting more and more rampant, there will always be heroes. Wu Ning is not talented. I want to be a hero who fights against criminals and upholds justice. With me here, everyone can rest assured that any pirate will be swept away. Although I am not famous yet, everyone can call me the nemesis of evil in the future. And this person is obviously Xia Ping. He wore a Rui mask and changed his original appearance. He changed his identity and appeared in front of the public media. At this time, no one can see that this Wu Ning is actually Xia Ping. Brag, continue to brag. Below the audience, a reporter looked at Wu Ning with contempt. If pirates were so easy to be extinct, they would have been extinct long ago. Instead of now, pirates are rampant and risking their lives every time they sail. Keep your voice down, don't let others hear you. Damn, it's another young master who doesn't know the world. He wants to come here to make a name for himself. He hasn't killed those pirates yet, and he actually started to hold a press conference. He also called him the nemesis of evil. This kid's face is so thick that even the laser cannons can't penetrate it. It's said that hundreds of media outlets here were invited by him with money. He spent hundreds of millions. No wonder so many media friends came. I thought I was ignorant. Damn, he spent hundreds of millions. If he went to whore, how many women would he go to whore? That's what I like. A group of reporters in the audience were a little listless because they were all bought by Xia Ping's money. It was purely for the boss's task. Otherwise, they would not be willing to come. However, they still have professional ethics. At least they won't tear down Qin Haodong's face. Well said, Mr. Wu Ning is really a model of heroes. If there are a few more people like Mr. Wu Ning in the world, it is estimated that there will be no evil in the whole world. Thank you very much for Mr. Wu Ning's contribution. I didn't expect that in such an era of evil, there would be a person with a sense of justice like Mr. Wu Ning. This is simply a clear stream which deeply moved me. The pillar of the country, the Lei Feng of the world, this is a great talent like Mr. Wu Ning. Come, everyone, let's applaud and be proud of such a hero. Our safety will depend on Mr. Wu Ning in the future. When Xia Ping finished speaking, a few people immediately jumped out. They were incomparably excited and clapped their hands crazily, as if they were some fanatical fans who were madly flattering him. Damn, he even prepared people to support him. This is too well prepared. A group of reporters were stunned. They finally saw what it meant to be a rich person. Not only did he have the support of the news media, but he also had the support of fanatical fans. A series of processes had appeared. Now that he had done it this way, it really seemed to be the case. You're welcome. How can I, Wu Ning, get such support from everyone? Don't worry, in the future, when those pirates hear my name, they will definitely be scared to the point of wetting their pants. Xia Ping said carelessly, as if he had accepted all the compliments without the slightest bit of embarrassment. Many reporters also saw once again that this playboy's face was as thick as a city wall. Chapter 766. Hearing this, a reporter immediately stood up and asked, Mr. Wu Ning, why did you kill the blood shark pirates? There are so many pirates in the world, why did you kill the blood shark pirates? Does Mr. Wu Ning have any enmity with them? He couldn't understand. No hatred. Xia Ping waved his hand. The reason why I wanted to kill the blood shark pirates was purely an accident. I was worried for a long time at the beginning, and finally the wheel found it. This is actually the instruction of fate. Of course, it doesn't matter even if it's not the blood shark pirates. As long as they are evil pirates, they deserve to die. Only dead pirates are good pirates. Wheel. Hearing this, many reporters' mouths twitched. This guy is really casually looking for pirate. He actually decided to do this by relying on the wheel. He also bragged that this is the instruction of fate. It's very nice to hear, but in fact, it's just a random decision. This is too sloppy. What kind of game is killing the blood shark pirates? They already feel that this kid is completely hopeless. If this matter gets out and is known by the blood shark pirates, I'm afraid that this kid won't be able to eat it. Mr. Wu Ning. Another reporter stood up and asked, I don't know what strategy you have to kill the blood shark pirates. As far as I know, the other party is a large pirate group with tens of thousands of people. Their pirate group leader, Shark 17, is a Grandmaster-level powerhouse. It's very difficult to kill the other party. Some people have chased after the blood shark pirates before, but they all failed. Even their heads were cut off and hung on the ship as a warning. He wanted to know what Xia Ping's strategy was. What strategy is needed to deal with small pirates? In the face of absolute strength, any strategy is empty. As long as I find the blood shark pirates, then the army will crush them and destroy them. That's a matter of seconds. Xia Ping was unparalleled, saying that he can crush the group of pirates in minutes and break the enemy. There is no hope. Many reporters were completely speechless. If the blood shark pirates were so easy to kill, they would have been killed long ago. How could they live until now? This kid is completely crazy. Of course, I still have a specific plan, Xia Ping said. I intend to invite the heroes to gather those who have been persecuted by the blood shark pirates and hold a dinner party, and then everyone will discuss how to deal with the blood shark pirates. I believe that there are many people who have been persecuted by the blood shark pirate. As long as I raise my voice, there will be many people who will follow me. At that time, the blood shark pirates will be dead, and they will turn into ashes in the anger of the masses. He intends to hold a dinner party and gather many victims of the blood shark pirates to discuss important matters. Many reporters also saw that although this kid looks stupid, he still has a little IQ. He knows how to unite others and establish an anti-pirate alliance. In this case, there is no need to fight alone. Maybe there is a glimmer of hope to deal with the blood shark pirates. The press conference soon ended, and the news that Xia Ping intended to kill the blood shark pirates and gather many victims of the blood shark pirates spread quickly. With the power of money, this news also appeared on major websites and the headlines of major newspapers, so that places near the giant city and even further away know this news and spread thousands of miles. At this time, on a remote island in the endless sea, a luxurious palace was built here. The people of the blood shark pirates were eating and drinking in the palace hall, holding a banquet, and the lights were bright. "Captain, something big happened." At this time, a pirate rushed in from outside the palace, holding a newspaper in his hand. He was very flustered. "What happened?" A muffled voice sounded, and it was Shark 17 who spoke. He was huge, with a height of 4 or 5 meters, and his feet stood on the ground like a small mountain. He had ferocious fangs, jagged like saw teeth, exuding a terrifying light. His whole body was covered with terrifying muscles, and it seemed that every inch of his body contained explosive power. This was a terrible warrior from the Shark clan. His strength alone surpassed humans of the same rank by 10 times. If he entered the sea, his battle power would soar even more. "There is a human who wants to deal with us. He said that he will destroy the blood shark pirates within a month and kill all of us." A pirate waved the newspaper in his hand and shouted crazily, "What?" Hearing this, all the pirates who were eating big fish and meat stopped. "What kind of human is so bold that he dares to destroy my blood shark pirates? He wants to die." Shark 17 was furious and let out a terrible roar, condensing into a terrible sound wave that shook some of the nearby pirates and rolled up 1,000 layers of dust. "It's a fledgling, a young master. That kid seems to have just been promoted to the Grandmaster realm and came to the Endless Sea." The pirate quickly said his information. In order to make a name for himself, he wants to find our blood shark pirates and use us as a stepping stone to fame. So that's how it is, a fledgling. In the Endless Sea, there are at least 10,000 of such people. That's right, such a person will soon disappear. It's not worth mentioning. He wants to deal with our blood shark pirates. I really don't know where he got the courage. The group of pirates sneered, not putting that young master in their eyes at all. Every year, they don't know how many idiots they want to kill, and this is just one of them. No, that guy seems to want to gather the many victims of the blood shark pirates to form a victim alliance, intending to deal with us together. He is serious," the pirate said in a deep voice. "Victim alliance?" Hearing this, Shark 17 laughed out loud. "They're just a bunch of ants. So what if they've banded together? I can squash them to death with a single hand." "Boss, I think this is an opportunity." A dog-head advisor's eyes flashed coldly. Shark 17 was stunned. "Opportunity? Yes, it is an opportunity." The dog-head advisor said treacherously, "Originally, these victims often come in groups to find trouble with us, bringing us a lot of harm, and sometimes almost destroying our actions. If we let these jumping clowns do damage like this, if we don't pay attention, it will lead to a disaster in the long run. Now that someone has gathered this group of idiots together, we can seize the opportunity to capture them all in one fell swoop and kill them all. After killing these idiots, I don't think there will be many people in the sea who will dare to fight against us." He was full of murderous intent as he offered a poisonous plan. Chapter 767. A few days later, at night, on a ship. At this time, the luxury ship has gone out to sea, hundreds of kilometers away from the giant city. Some people who have hatred for the blood shark pirates were invited by Xia Ping on the cruise ship. Among them, there are men and women, old and young. All of them have a blood feud with the blood shark pirate. All of them can't wait to crush the blood shark pirates to ashes. Mr. Wu Ning, can we really destroy the blood shark pirates? A girl asked. She was very skeptical about this because the blood shark pirates are too powerful, and their leader is a master of the supreme realm. And it is a deep-sea monster who is good at swimming. If the situation is not good, the other party can immediately drill into the sea and escape calmly. Even a powerful grandmaster would not be easy to intercept the other party. Of course, no problem, Xia Ping said. Our trip to the sea is actually a rehearsal to annihilate the blood shark pirate. As long as the rehearsal is successful, then the blood shark pirates will be dead. He showed a very confident look. How do we destroy the blood shark pirates? Someone asked. Xia Ping said, it's very simple. We will pretend to be an ordinary cruise ship and deliberately release the news that the cruise ship secretly carries a lot of spiritual liquid. I believe that this amazing news will definitely make those stupid pirates ready to pounce on us like wild beasts. And we will ambush many powerful grandmasters in the cruise ship. We will attack them from 2 sides and ambush them from 10 sides. We will catch them off guard and completely destroy the blood shark pirates once and for all. He said his plan. Is it that simple? What if those pirates don't fall for it? Someone had a strange look on his face. If it was so easy to destroy the blood shark pirates, someone would have destroyed them long ago. Xia Ping waved his hand. Don't worry, those sea monsters are all well-developed and simple-minded. As long as they know this news, they will think that we are weak and will definitely attack. Think about it yourself. There is no cat in this world that doesn't steal fish and sharks that don't eat meat. Knowing that there are a lot of treasures on board, those stupid pirates will not attack. Of course, even if they really don't attack, you won't lose anything. It's just a waste of time. He was full of confidence. He thought that the sea demons were very stupid and would fall for it easily. Hearing this, the people around him nodded involuntarily. Taking a step back, even if this plan is not successful, they will not have any losses. At most, the pirates will not attack. But if they succeed, they can destroy those hateful pirates and take revenge. No matter what they do, it will be very good for them, and they have no reason to refuse. I also know what you're worried about. You think that the success rate of one ship is too low, but that's okay, Xia Ping continued. If one ship doesn't work, then 10 ships. If 10 ships don't work, then 100 ships. I don't believe that this group of stupid pirates won't be tempted by such benefits. As long as they dare to attack one of the ships, they will die. Awesome. The people present were completely convinced. If they could really prepare 100 ships with a large number of grandmasters on each ship, then the blood shark pirates would be dead for sure. If they dared to attack one of them, they would definitely be ambushed by a large number of grandmasters. Of course, ordinary people can't do this kind of thing. Not to mention anything else, just hiring so many grandmasters as thugs is not something that ordinary people can afford. This is an astronomical amount of money, and only the super rich can afford it. And spending so much money just to destroy a pirate group, many people will scold the other party for being crazy. Money should not be wasted like this. They also don't understand why Wu Ning would do such a thankless thing. But it doesn't matter if they don't understand. He is a local tyrant, rich and willful. At this time, among the crowd, there is a young man with an ordinary appearance secretly lurking. He is wearing black-rimmed glasses with a needle-tip hole on the frame. This is a camera used to secretly take pictures. Through this camera, all the information on the ship can be transmitted to the outside world silently. This young man is a spy of the blood shark pirates. He also secretly followed the people around him to board the ship to get information. 100 miles away from the cruise ship, a large black ship was sailing with a pirate flag hanging on it. The pattern was like a shark skeleton, murderous. This is the flag of the Blood Shark Pirate. At this time, the senior cadres of the Blood Shark Pirates are gathered in the captain's room, looking at the secretly filmed images transmitted. All of their faces are as black as coal. Damn human, they really want to deal with us and come up with this kind of conspiracy. It's too hateful. Fortunately, we are smart and know how to send spies, otherwise we will really be fooled by that human. If we go into that ship and suddenly a bunch of grandmasters jump out, we will be dead. What a shameless and treacherous human. No wonder my grandfather said that the most vicious creature is human. This is not unreasonable. All day long thinking of this kind of immoral strategy, exterminating people, aren't they afraid that their children will not have PIIs? When the pirates saw this scene, all of them cursed, and a chill gushed out of their hearts. If the other party really sends 100 ships to plot against them, they will definitely be fooled if they don't know this. After all, they are pirate. How can they resist not robbing? They can hide from one ship, but how can they hide from 100 ships? There will always be a time when they will be fooled. The problem is, as long as they are fooled once, they will be besieged by a group of grandmasters. This is an extremely vicious plan. This is the root of the Blood Shark Pirate. Fortunately, they now know the plan of this vicious human in advance and are prepared. Otherwise, their Blood Shark Pirates will be finished, and maybe they will become history. Damn it, this human is audacious to the extreme. How could he do such an immoral thing? With so much money, he could do anything, but he actually came to deal with us. Did we dig up his roots or burn his grandfather's tomb? Why did he come to deal with us? These rich humans eat all day and have nothing to do, harming others without benefiting themselves. The dog-head advisor cursed. He felt that his pirate group was simply unlucky. To be targeted by such a rich human who is not short of money, it is simply bad luck. There are so many pirate groups in the endless sea. He didn't target others, but he took a fancy to them. It is too hateful. Destroy him! Shark 17 stood up, murderous. He wants to kill our Blood Shark Pirates to become famous? This is simply a joke. Do we look like stepping stones to that human? Today we must destroy these stupid humans, kill the chicken to scare the monkey, and raise the prestige of my Blood Shark Pirates. This time, we must kill them until they stop crying, until they don't dare to retaliate. Chapter 768. It's over, there are pirates coming. Just as Xia Ping and a group of people were bragging, a sailor in the distance suddenly screamed in horror. What? Hearing this, a group of people were shocked. Isn't today just a drill? Why are there pirates coming? What the hell happened? Aren't you monitoring the sea? Why didn't you find any pirates coming? Someone shouted, feeling extremely frightened. In this boundless and helpless sea, there is nothing more desperate than encountering vicious pirates. A large white mist suddenly rose in the distant sea. We thought it was normal weather, but we didn't expect to be fooled. The sailor cried out. When the white mist dissipated, a huge pirate ship appeared in front of us, and now it is only 2 or 3 miles away from our cruise ship. Many people were horrified. They immediately knew that the pirate ship must have a siren who could manipulate the weather, so they could approach silently with the cover of the white mist and not be discovered. It's over, we are completely finished, they are already close. Suddenly, the sailor collapsed on the ground in despair. His whole body was trembling, and he was so scared that he had no strength. This pirate flag, it's the Blood Shark Pirates. The Blood Shark Pirates are coming. Someone's eyes were very sharp, and he immediately found that the huge pirate ship had a flag hanging on it. This flag represents the identity of the Blood Shark Pirate. Blood Shark Pirates? Hearing these big words, the people present were scared and pale. Although they have a blood feud with the Blood Shark Pirates, they are also extremely afraid of these pirates. The name of the other party represents death, fear, darkness, and inhumanity. Anyone who encounters the blood shark pirates basically has no way to live. Impossible, this is not a drill, is it just a drill? Yes, why did the blood shark pirates appear in this place? Dream, this must be a dream, otherwise how could this happen? Where is the captain? Where is the captain? Hurry up and escape, we can't fight them head on. Many people showed a desperate look, and all of them trembled. They were unprepared, and they didn't expect to meet the fierce pirates so soon. Dong! All of a sudden, the entire cruise ship shook violently. The ship that was originally moving at high speed suddenly stopped, as if it had completely broken down and could no longer move. This is bad. The ship's engine has been destroyed. It's impossible to steer now. We can't escape. The captain's voice came from the loudspeaker. Everyone could hear his fear. Everyone present knows that the blood shark pirates are all sirens. Many of them are terrible sirens who can move quickly in the deep sea. They can catch up with the ship and destroy it from the bottom. A ship without an engine was simply a large coffin that could only be slaughtered by the enemy. They really came. Xia Ping's expression was very calm. He was very calm because he knew that the pirates would attack, and he was mentally prepared. He even prepared a lot of backup plans. If this group of pirates attacked, it would be suicidal. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The pirate ship approached, and from the deck, powerful sea demons immediately jumped over. There were hundreds and thousands of them, and in the blink of an eye, they controlled the entire ship. Among them, the leader of the blood shark pirates also jumped over. Surrounded by a group of younger brothers, he came to the humans on the ship. He looked fierce and murderous. You are Wu Ning? Shark 17 fiercely stared at Xia Ping, who was standing in the middle of the crowd, gritted his teeth and said, Kid, you have a lot of courage, you actually dare to deal with our blood shark pirates, causing trouble here, wishing for the world to be in chaos. The order of the entire endless sea is disrupted by people like you. Do you know that your behavior is heinous? Even if I kill your entire family, it won't be too much. His eyes revealed an amazing murderous aura. Why did you come so quickly? We aren't ready yet. Xia Ping pretended to be confused, as if he couldn't believe that the blood shark pirates would come so quickly. You think this is a fucking game? We have to wait for you to be ready before we come, you are crazy. The group of pirates was immediately angered by Xia Ping's words. If they really waited for this kid to be ready, they would have already fled. How could they dare to appear again? They knew that this human wasn't ready, which was why they dared to come and kill him. They wanted to catch this human off guard and kill all the humans who wanted to deal with them. You stupid humans, you actually dare to group up to deal with our blood shark pirates. It seems that we are still a little too soft-hearted, so there are so many fish that escape the net. Shark 17 said in a faint tone, but from now on I will be ruthless, no one will be left alive. Any human who is a threat will be killed, and no future trouble will be left. You are honored, you will be the sacrifice of our blood shark pirates. These words made everyone present feel cold from the bottom of their hearts. These are the pirates of the endless sea, they kill people like flies, they don't care about etiquette and morality, they advocate the law of nature where the weak are prey to the strong. Everyone was desperate, they had planned to take revenge before, but they saw that these pirates had amazing strength, they were simply killing machines, how could they resist? Now that they can't take revenge, they will die in the hands of these enemies. Damn pirate, don't think that you can continue to be so rampant, you have done so many evil things, you will not have a good end. An old man gnashed his teeth, he was full of hatred towards Shark 17. Bang! Without waiting for the old man to finish speaking, Shark Shichi slapped the old man, causing him to fall to the ground. A red palm print appeared on the old man's face, and his mouth was full of blood. A few of his teeth even flew out. He fell to the ground, howling in pain. But this was not the end. Shark 17 stepped on the old man's head, trampling it fiercely, almost deforming his head. He said savagely, "Old thing, did I let you speak? Tell me yourself, did I allow you to speak?" The old man let out a mournful scream. The intense pain made him unable to speak at all, blood dripping from his body. Such a miserable state made the surrounding people feel scared. This old man was also a master, a first heaven of the supreme power realm, but he was not a match for Shark 17 at all. He was knocked down with a single blow, unable to resist. The gap between the two sides was really too big. Chapter 769. This. Everyone's eyes widened as their hearts filled with rage and killing intent. They clenched their fists and were about to attack. However, the powerful pirates in the surroundings looked over with murderous gazes. The air was filled with a terrifying pressure, making it hard for them to breathe. It was as if their bodies were being crushed by a huge mountain, unable to move. Instantly, it was as if a bucket of cold water had been poured over their heads. They no longer dared to move. Stop! At this time, a girl stood out. She couldn't bear it any longer and wanted to save the old man. Stop? Who do you think you are? Do you think you can stop just because you say so? One of the pirates laughed loudly. He looked at the girl as if he was looking at an idiot, his eyes filled with ridicule. You guys have done too many evil things. Sooner or later, there will be retribution. Even if we can't kill you, there will always be someone who can kill you in our place. A girl stood out, her eyes filled with hatred as she gnashed her teeth. Her parents had been killed by this group of pirates. It was said that they had been eaten alive by them, leaving not even their bones behind. There is someone who can kill us? What a joke. This old man, Shark 13, has roamed the seas for decades. Who can kill me? However, you actually dared to stand out. At least you have some backbone. I like to eat humans with backbone the most. They are chewy. Shark 17 laughed malevolently. A huge hand the size of a cattail leaf fan grabbed out at an extremely fast speed. Whistling sounds could be heard as the air was torn apart. It's over. Everyone couldn't help but close their eyes. Such a fragile girl was probably no stronger than tofu under such a sharp claw. She would be crushed to death in an instant and turned into a pile of meat paste. They didn't dare to look at the miserable state of this girl when she died. At this time, Xia Ping suddenly moved, blocking in front of the girl and slapping out with his palm. Boom! The collision of the two tyrannical forces immediately produced a huge vibration sound, and an astonishing energy burst out, sweeping in all directions. Several pirates nearby were caught off guard and were shaken out. Shark 17 was also horrified and couldn't help but take a few steps back. However, Xia Ping didn't move a single inch. What a powerful force! Shark 17 couldn't hide the shock in his heart. He was a member of the sea demon race. Just his strength alone was more than 10 times that of an ordinary human. Against an ordinary human, he could simply crush them. Usually, it didn't need to do anything at all. With a single punch, it could turn a human into minced meat. But now, there was actually a human who was even stronger than it. This was simply unbelievable. Xia Ping narrowed his eyes and looked at Shark 17 dangerously. You want to make a move on the people here? Have you asked for my permission? Do you really think you don't have to pay the price for acting so atrociously in my territory? Price my ass, you bastard human. Not only will I kill all the men here and dismember them into 1,000 pieces, I'll also take all the women here and bring them back to F***ck them all. What can you do about it? Shark 17 sneered, not taking Xia Ping seriously at all. The other sea demons were also sneering. A puny human dared to behave atrociously in front of them? He really didn't know his own capabilities. Boom! As soon as the words left his mouth, Shark 17 immediately attacked. Shark Race's King-class martial skill, Shark Rampage 18 styles. In the blink of an eye, its huge body came crashing over. Even though its body was huge, its speed was inconceivably fast. It was like a shark swimming in the sea, breaking through the surface of the sea in an instant to kill its prey. Its sharp claws slashed over. Astral energy vibrated and condensed into substance. Under its control, the airflow turned into sharp wind blades. They were incomparably sharp and could cut through anything. It seemed like anything that stood in the way of these wind blades would be completely torn apart. They were even vibrating in the air, buzzing like bees flapping their wings. This martial skill was purely a martial skill for killing. Apart from killing, it had no other use. It seemed like it had abandoned all unnecessary movements. Every move and every style was aimed at killing the enemy. It didn't even hesitate to exchange injuries for injuries. Its killing efficiency was extremely high. Once Shark 17 touched it, he would either die or be severely injured. In fact, this martial skill was simply tailor-made for the shark race. Shark 17's powerful body, recovery ability that far surpassed humans, and astonishing strength allowed the might of this martial skill to be displayed to the fullest. If an ordinary martial artist wanted to fight against it, they would only be able to land a punch on Shark 17's body. Shark 17 wouldn't even be able to break his skin before his head would be smashed to pieces. It was incomparably wild and unstoppable. Fool! Xia Ping remained unmoved. He took a step forward, his entire person resembling a sacred Buddha. A halo of light appeared behind him, illuminating the world with Buddha's radiance, warming everyone's hearts. In the void, faint sounds of Sanskrit could be heard, as if a Buddha was chanting. Such light, such Sanskrit sounds, it seemed as if they wanted to expel the darkness of the world and welcome the light. Unmovable Buddha Palm. After advancing to the Grandmaster realm, this palm skill seemed to have undergone a massive transformation. It was as if it could finally display a trace of the true mysteries of this palm skill. Not only did this palm strike contain an extreme and violent destructive power, but it also contained mental strength. When facing this palm strike, the enemy seemed to be facing an extreme pressure. Illusions appeared in their minds, as if an arhat that could subdue dragons and tigers had appeared, wanting to slay demons with thunderous methods. Boom! Immediately, this palm strike shattered Shark 17's terrifying astral chi. It shattered inch by inch, as if the entire air had collapsed. The air was expelled, forming a temporary vacuum zone. Ah! Shark 17 didn't expect Xia Ping's palm strike to be so terrifying. It contained the immense power of an ancient divine beast, sweeping everything in its path. Even with his innate divine strength, he couldn't block it. Its huge body was sent flying. With a thump, it smashed into the ship's hold, creating a huge crater. Cracking sounds rang out as metal fragments flew in all directions. Cracks also appeared on the ground, extending for more than 10 meters. It was extremely shocking. The entire ship shook violently, as if the world was shaking. Impossible! The surrounding pirates were all dumbfounded. They were all shocked. Their captain, whom they revered like a god, was actually no match for a human. He was sent flying with a single palm strike and was at a disadvantage. So strong. The surrounding people were all shocked. Previously, they all thought that this Wu Ning was a good-for-nothing young master without any strength. He only wanted to use this method to make a name for himself because his family was rich. Who would have thought that he would be a complete mess of brutality? Human! Shark 17 roared, struggling to get up from the debris. His eyes were bloodshot as he clenched his fist. His aura was boiling, distorting the air, and causing the debris on the ground to tremble violently. Everyone present could feel Shark 17's intense killing intent. It was so strong that it was almost tangible. Every pore on their bodies felt as if they were being pricked by needles, and their bodies were trembling. Chapter 770. Stop shouting. Even as Shark 17 shouted, a whooshing sound rang out as Xia Ping used the Kuan Ping steps to appear in front of Shark 17, whereupon he unleashed a fist strike. Boom! Immediately, the punch landed squarely on Shark 17's face, sending him flying. Ripples condensed into substance in the air, causing the air to tremble unceasingly. Captain! Many of the pirates' eyes popped out of their sockets. This human was extremely cruel. He didn't seem to want to give their boss any chance to fight back. His attacks were like a torrential storm. Ah! Shark 17 was incomparably indignant. F***ck. He was about to show off his might and kill this human. Who would have thought that this human wouldn't even give him the chance to do so? Shark 17's huge body hadn't even fallen to the ground when Xia Ping rushed over again. Fist imprints condensed in the air and smashed into Shark 17's body. His speed was so fast that his fists broke through the sound barrier. Dong dong dong. Shark 17 was like a sandbag, sent flying everywhere. He was like a small boat sailing on the sea. His skin had also split open, revealing traces of blood. Huh? He didn't receive any fatal injuries? Xia Ping narrowed his eyes. After dozens of punches, he realized that although Shark 17 looked miserable on the surface, the punches didn't penetrate his skin and enter his lungs. It seemed that every punch he landed on Shark 17's body was absorbed by the latter's body, constantly dissipating the force of his punches. Not a single punch could cause any fatal injuries. Foolish human, your punches are useless against me. The body structure of the shark race isn't something you humans can imagine. Shark 17 laughed heartily, looking very pleased with himself. The shark race had a special body structure. Their skin was covered with a thick layer of fat. This layer of fat could resist the cold and hundreds of tons of water pressure in the deep sea. This also resulted in their defense being off the chart. Ordinary physical attacks didn't have much effect on them. When a punch landed, no matter how strong the force, it would be quickly absorbed or dissipated by the fat. That was why Shark 17 relied on this tyrannical method. Often, human grandmasters didn't know about this and would attack him crazily. Even when their strength was exhausted, they couldn't harm Shark 17. In the end, Shark 17 waited for the other party to tire of beating him up, and then with a backhand slap, he smashed the human's head into minced meat. "Concede, human," Shark 17 said with a vicious smile. "You're not a match for me. Be a good boy and let yourself be captured. Close your eyes and wait for death." With that, he flipped through the air and landed on the ground. Its huge body was like a mountain of flesh as it stood on the ground, emitting an extremely powerful pressure. The wounds on its body were no longer bleeding, and they had even formed scabs. This was a special ability of the shark race, an extremely powerful self-healing ability. No matter how serious the injury was, as long as it was not fatal, the injuries on their bodies would automatically heal. If it was a light injury, it would scar within a few minutes and stop bleeding. What a monster! The surrounding humans were all shocked. This was the big pirate that dominated the sea. It was too strong. Its defense was invincible, and its recovery was extremely strong. Coupled with its unparalleled tyrannical strength and powerful martial arts, who could be its opponent? Clapless palm. Xia Ping's eyes were cold. It wasn't that he hadn't encountered enemies with such strong defense, and he had even killed many of them. This shark thought that it was invincible just because it had a strong defense. It was simply a frog at the bottom of a well. Whoosh! He struck out with his palm without any sound or presence. After advancing to the Grandmaster level, he had a deeper understanding of the clapless palm. He had completely softened the hard and soft forces. When the two forces were superimposed, its power was boundless. In the air, there seemed to be a faint roar of a real shark. What is this? Shark 17's hair stood on end. As a Grandmaster, he could feel that this palm was completely different from before. Its power had increased by several times, and it seemed to be able to pose a threat to him. Its huge body immediately moved. It was extremely agile, like a flying fish in the sea, trying to dodge this palm. But it was too late. It was only 2 to 3 meters away from Xia Ping, and Xia Ping's attack had broken through the sound barrier. With such a fast speed and such a short distance, how could it dodge? It was an attack that even the speed of thinking couldn't keep up with. Boom! The huge palm landed on Shark 17's body. Layers of terrifying fist force penetrated into his body, and the air exploded. It was as if the air had been blasted apart by this palm. The soft forces and the hard and fierce forces softly blended together. The two forces exploded like a flood, sweeping away everything in its path. Even though Shark 17's body had an extremely strong defense, it couldn't withstand this extremely soft palm force. In an instant, it penetrated through layers of his fat and blocked his lungs. Ah! Shark 17 let out a mournful scream. Even though he had suffered such a terrifying force, his body actually didn't fly out. He just stood there. This was because the soft force was different from the hard and fierce force. It completely affected the enemy's body, not wasting a single bit of its force. It completely formed a vibration and destroyed the enemy's body. It could be imagined that the destructive power of this soft palm was incomparable. The terrifying energy continuously shook Shark 17's internal organs. The ground he stood on immediately cracked open, looking like a spiderweb, and his nose, mouth, eyes, ears, and other places were all bleeding. The surrounding people could see Shark 17's miserable state. It was as if he had turned into a bloody man. His whole body's skin had cracked open, and blood seemed to be freely flowing out. Drip, 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 the earth was dyed red. This kind of injury was simply fatal. Even though the shark race had a strong recovery ability, they were helpless in the face of this palm. Their injuries were too heavy, and they couldn't use their recovery ability. They were helpless. Captain! The surrounding pirates were dumbfounded. They didn't expect that their captain, whom they respected like a god, would be beaten to such a miserable state by a puny human. They couldn't imagine it and thought that this was some kind of illusion. But their captain's scream was so real that they couldn't help but believe that their captain was really finished. Go to hell! A cold light flashed in Xia Ping's eyes. He immediately made a move, wanting to smash this pirate's head with a palm and end his life. You dare! Stop, damned human! You dare to kill the boss of the Blood Shark Pirates? Do you want to die? Let's go together and kill this human. Pile him to death. Seeing that their captain was in danger, the nearby pirates angrily shouted and immediately wanted to stop him. Chapter 771. Boom. The first to attack were the 4 senior cadres of the Blood Shark Pirates, Eel 5, Arrow 7, Zhang 9, and Crab 18. Arrow 7 was the fastest because his original body was a swordfish. His swimming speed in the sea was comparable to that of a flying arrow. He was known as the fastest fish demon in the sea. When he was in the sea, once he broke out the extreme speed, his whole body would be like a cone-shaped flying arrow, forming a terrible wave that could pierce the enemy in an instant. Even though he was on land now, his speed was not reduced at all. He held a sharp blade in one hand, which was so sharp that it could cut iron like mud. His whole body turned into a light, leaving the place and attacking Xia Ping. This was a peerless stab. Phew! Eel 5 was also not simple. His original body was an electric eel, known as the Judge of the Sea. He had the power to control thunder and was feared by countless sea demons. Once the power of thunder and lightning broke out in his body, the area within a kilometer would be covered by the thunder energy, reaching 100,000 volts. Any creature that approached would be roasted in an instant. He clenched his big hand, and a terrible thunder energy gushed out from his body. With a crackling sound, it instantly condensed into a thunder spear, which was purple and contained mysterious runes. In the next second, the thunder spear was thrown out by him to penetrate Xia Ping's body. Bang! Zhang Nine's movements were the most violent. His original body was an octopus with many tentacles, each of which was equivalent to a steel spear. He waved his countless tentacles, and overlapping spear shadows appeared in the void, tearing the air at tricky angles. It was as if a spear grandmaster was born in the world. These tentacles were extremely terrifying, tearing everything apart. In an instant, they covered Xia Ping's body, blocking any space that he could move and time to dodge. Whoosh! Crab 18 was the most insidious. His original body was a sea crab with two sharp crab claws like scissors. Even titanium alloy metal could be cut into countless pieces in an instant. He was even proficient in the art of assassination. Once he moved, he would move horizontally in an instant, disappearing silently in this space, as if he had integrated into the shadows. No one could find him. In the next second, he appeared behind Xia Ping, waving his crab claws, wanting to cut off Xia Ping's head and kill him completely. These 4 senior cadres also had the strength of Supreme Power Stage 2. Even if their individual strength was inferior to Shark 17's, the combined threat of 4 high-ranking officers was many times more terrifying than Shark 17's. Be careful! Despicable! Bullying with numbers. The surrounding humans were shocked and their pupils shrank. They didn't expect these pirates to be so despicable. The captain couldn't beat the others, so several of his subordinates attacked at the same time. It was extremely sinister. Despicable? We are pirates who do all kinds of evil. Who would fight with you alone? Ganging up on us is the way to go. Who told you to be alone? A pirate said proudly. Die! The 4 pirate cadres attacked at the same time, and the cold killing intent spread through every pore of Xia Ping's body, condensing into substance, turning the whole air into mercury, which was extremely heavy. Shark 17 was overjoyed. He had thought that he was done for and that he would be killed by the human. He hadn't expected that he wouldn't be so easy to deal with. At the critical moment, he had appeared and stopped the brat. Idiot, do you think you can win just because a few good-for-nothings launched a sneak attack? Today, I will let you good-for-nothings know that there is always someone better than you. Xia Ping sneered, and in an instant, he took out the soul-sucking bell. Tyrannical stellar energy immediately surged out of his body and crazily poured into the soul-absorbing bell, activating the energy of the mysterious soul-absorbing bell. With the soul-absorbing bell as the center, circles of spiritual fluctuations that were invisible to the naked eye immediately surged out. Rumble, these terrifying spiritual fluctuations were like waves, spreading in all directions. This was an attack that touched the soul, and its speed was unimaginably fast. The 4 senior cadres, and even the pirates who were watching the show, didn't know what was going on, and were hit by the power of the soul-sucking bell. Dong! Such a sound was like a morning bell, and it fiercely hit the depths of their souls, shaking them to the point that their minds went blank for a few seconds. Kill! Xia Ping shouted, and as if he was possessed by Bai Qi, a terrifying killing intent filled the entire ship, and the ferocious nature of the humans present was completely aroused. Under his control, the power of the soul-sucking bell didn't affect the humans. All the people present were not affected, and they were still intact. Hearing Xia Ping's angry shout, and seeing the sluggish eyes of the pirates, who stood in the same place like wooden stakes, unable to move, they immediately knew that their opportunity had come. Each of these humans had a blood feud with the Blood Shark pirates. Among them, there were a few grandmasters, and the rest were martial masters. Their strength was definitely not simple. After being reminded by Xia Ping, they quickly reacted. This was a great opportunity. One of them took out a large saber and chopped down with great force. It was incomparably ferocious, and a sea demon was split in half from head to toe. Blood splattered everywhere. Others took out a 3-foot-long sword, and their movements were light, like a butterfly flying through flowers. In an instant they came in front of a pirate, and with one thrust, they pierced through the other's heart, ending their lives. The most violent one was the old man who had been humiliated by the captain. He picked up a huge hammer from the side, and his whole body was like a giant. His muscles swelled, and his abdominal muscles were distinct. With a bang, he smashed down with the hammer, and in an instant, the head of a sea demon was smashed into meat paste. At this moment, these people were like killing machines. This was a one-sided massacre, and they killed all the pirates one by one. There was nothing simpler than this. Killing these pirates who had no consciousness of resistance was similar to whack-a-mole. One hit for one, simple and direct. They wouldn't show any mercy. Everyone knew that these were inhumane, murderous pirates. If they didn't resist, they would die. If these pirates didn't die, then they would die. Not to mention, they themselves had a blood feud with these pirates. Their relatives had all died at the hands of these pirates. Now that there was a chance for revenge, how could they miss it? No, no, no. You humans, you bastards, how can you do this? How dare you do this? Shark 17 was the strongest, and his soul power was also extremely powerful. He was also the first sea demon to wake up. When he regained consciousness, he immediately saw his subordinates being killed by the humans like wooden stakes, falling into a pool of blood. Immediately, his eyes widened and his blood surged. His lungs were about to explode from anger. His elite subordinates had actually been slaughtered by these filthy, lowly, and weak humans. In just a few seconds, more than half of them had died. Chapter 772. Die. Xia Ping was too lazy to pay attention to the clamoring Shark 17. He pulled out the hell spear from his body and instantly stabbed towards the 4 pirate cadres. His speed was as fast as thunder. Bang, bang, bang. Eel 5, Arrow 7, 9th, and Crabby 18, these 4 high-level pirate cadres had just woken up, but they soon saw their chests being pierced by a spear. Their hearts were blown up at this moment. Ah! The 4 senior cadres let out a miserable scream. Suddenly, endless pain spread all over their body. It was as if every nerve in their body was being bitten by ants. The pain made them almost unable to breathe. They wanted to resist and kill this damn human. But now that their hearts were pierced, the strength of their whole body seemed to flow out along with their blood. The earth was completely dyed red. No, no, no! Shark 17's eyes were wide open. These 4 senior cadres had followed him through life and death for dozens of years. He didn't know how many hardships and dangers they had gone through. But now they were actually stabbed to death by a human and their hearts were blown up. This scene was simply unacceptable to him. As the famous blood shark pirates, they are now wiped out here. No one will believe it. Originally, he thought that they were here to raid the humans and kill the other party by surprise, and by the way, kill the chicken to scare the monkey. But who would have thought that the other party was just one person, and they were so scared that they lost all their elite. I understand it's a trap, this is a trap. Shark 17 stared at Xia Ping. He finally realized that he had stepped into the trap of this despicable and shameless human. How can this guy be a hothead? How can he be a playboy from a rich family? How can he be a pretty boy who will do anything to become famous? He is clearly a hidden vicious beast. With just one person, the other party has the power to annihilate the entire blood shark pirate. But they didn't know this and still foolishly attacked. If they didn't walk into a death trap, then what else could it be? They clearly came here to line up and die. He regretted it. If he knew that this human was so cruel, he wouldn't have come here even if he was beaten to death. He would have directly fled, abandoned this sea, and went to other places to make a comeback. But now it was too late. The elites of the blood shark pirates all died here because they took a wrong step. Trap? This is indeed a trap. Hearing this, the humans at the side immediately came to their senses and looked at Xia Ping with great admiration. At this moment, when they saw countless sea demons dying tragically at their hands, they also knew that this might be Xia Ping's plan. He pretended to be arrogant and arrogant. Not only did he deceive the people of the blood shark pirates, but he also deceived them. The purpose was to make the people of the blood shark pirates jump out by themselves. Sure enough, these pirates were fooled, thinking that there were no strong enemies on this ship. They wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to kill all their enemies, killing the chicken to scare the monkey. However, that arrogant young master was their strongest trump card. He himself was a powerful grandmaster. Additionally, he also carried a prized artifact with him. His combat power was unparalleled. Just one person can kill this group of pirates and cause them to be in a complete mess, completely routed. As a result, the sinister and cunning blood shark pirates were annihilated. If other means were used, not to mention annihilating the blood shark pirates, it would take a lot of effort to find them. You only understand now? It's too late. Since you dared to come here, then there's no need to leave. All of you can die. Xia Ping's eyes revealed a strong killing intent, causing the air to boil. Like a needle, it pierced into every pore of Shark 17's body. Despicable and shameless human, I will never let you go. Just wait for my revenge. In this life, I, Shark 17, will not be a demon if I don't kill you. Shark 17 roared, and his eyes revealed the murderous aura of a blood shark. He hated Xia Ping to the extreme, the kind of hatred that went deep into his bones. It was estimated that even the hatred of killing his father would not be greater than this. Dong. As soon as his voice fell, he immediately took out a black bomb from his body and instantly smashed it towards Xia Ping and the others. What? Everyone was shocked and subconsciously fell to the ground to avoid it. Boom. The black bomb exploded on the spot, and suddenly a large amount of black liquid erupted. It was the ink of some cuttlefish. It was overwhelming and almost covered the entire ship, blocking the line of sight of countless people. This was an ink bomb, a biological bomb made from the ink secreted by the cuttlefish. Although the power was not very great, it was not even comparable to an ordinary grenade, but the instant it erupted with ink, once released, it can cover the sky and block the sun. It can isolate spiritual power and block sight. This is a special bomb that is more powerful than smoke bombs. Once used, the enemy will no longer be able to track them. Human, wait for me, I will be back. Shark 17 roared, and taking advantage of this short gap, his whole body jumped and instantly left the ship. He jumped into the sea, splashing a large amount of waves. Damn, Shark 17 ran away. What should we do? This is the soul of the blood shark pirate. Yes, as long as it doesn't die, the blood shark pirates can be established again at any time. Mr. Wu Ning, what should we do now? Seeing Shark 17 leave, everyone was worried. They turned to look at Xia Ping next to them. Xia Ping's body was wrapped in an astral energy shield. The instant the ink bomb exploded, it immediately activated, isolating all the ink from the outside of the energy shield. He wasn't affected at all, and his body was very clean from head to toe. Kill, Xia Ping said lightly. There should be a lot of pirates in the pirate ship on the opposite side. Destroy all these pirates, and when we get rid of the minions of the blood shark pirates, even if there is only Shark 17 left, it won't be able to turn over any waves. His words were full of murderous intent, making people tremble. Yes, even if Shark 17 escapes, there are still those minions. Those minions are the real culprits, they have killed countless people. All pirates should die, destroy them all. Kill without mercy. Hearing this, the group of people gritted their teeth, and a terrible killing intent surged in their hearts. Let's go. Xia Ping waved his hand and immediately led a group of people to attack the pirate ship next to him. At this moment, because things happened too fast, even Shark 17 didn't have time to notify some of the pirates on the pirate ship and quickly escape. Therefore, the pirates on the pirate ship didn't know that their elite troops had been completely destroyed at this time. Even the captain was scared and jumped into the sea, fleeing in panic. He didn't dare to stay in this place. Whiz whiz whiz. Chapter 773. At this time, there were a large number of pirates on the pirate ship. They also saw humans jumping out of the ship one by one, and they even dared to attack their ship. Fuck, these humans are crazy. They dare to come to our pirate ship. Are they going to line up to die? A pirate was stunned. It was the first time he saw this situation. Normally, they would kill all the humans in one fell swoop. Even if they don't die, they will kneel down and beg for mercy, but now there are people who dare to attack their pirate ship. This is simply unheard of. No, that's not right. Something's not right. Where's the captain, the 4 senior officers, and the elite crew? Where did they go? Aren't they killing those human trash? Some pirates noticed that something was wrong. They didn't seem to see their captain and those elite pirates. It was as if all these elites had disappeared. Could it be that captain and the others are dead? Were they killed by those damned humans? Some pirates guessed. Killed my ass, what kind of strong person is the captain? How could he be killed by those weak humans? Yes, you are crazy. How can you have such a ridiculous idea? Little humans only deserve to be the food of us fishmen, and they want to attack us. It's simply a dream. But the question is, if the captain is not dead, then where is he now? Why didn't these humans react when they attacked? Don't tell me, he is asleep. Many pirates felt a burst of bad. They felt that the ship that looked very weak, at this moment, was like a huge beast, devouring the elites of their blood shark pirate group. Whiz! At this time, Xia Ping took the lead and immediately came to the deck of the pirate ship, followed by a human elite, as if an army was pressing on the border, aggressive. Human, what are you doing here on the pirate ship? Why don't you leave quickly? Do you want to die? A pirate threatened fiercely, hoping to scare these humans. But the intimidation that was very effective before is basically useless now. No one will retreat when they hear these words. They are all looking at this group of pirates playfully. They don't know that they are going to die. These pirates are really stupid to the extreme. You want us to die? You still have a long way to go. Sleep for me. Xia Ping faintly looked at the group of pirates. His expression was indifferent, like a god walking on earth. Dong. Xia Ping immediately operated the soul-absorbing bell and stimulated the mysterious energy inside. A terrifying spiritual storm swept around, affecting every corner of the entire pirate ship. He walked forward step by step, as if he was taking a leisurely stroll in a courtyard. Every step he took caused the entire pirate ship to shake violently, as if it was earth-shattering and had reversed the universe. Xia Ping was like a god. His every step was more terrifying than the last. The water vapor was evaporating. Ah! In the face of this mental storm, even Captain Shark 17 couldn't resist it, so how could the remaining pirates resist it? They were immediately attacked in the depths of their souls. One by one, they let out shrill screams, clutching their heads as they fell to the ground, howling madly. Some of the weaker merpeople even fell to the ground, foaming at the mouth, and their eyeballs turned white. They directly fainted, twitching incessantly, unable to move. Kill. A group of humans took out all kinds of weapons, broadswords, spears, hammers, and other cold weapons. There were also laser guns and other firearms. They were like tigers entering a flock of sheep, constantly harvesting. Dealing with these unconscious merpeople who fell to the ground and screamed, it was simply a one-sided slaughter. He didn't need to do anything else. With a swing of his saber, he chopped off his head. Blood spurted out like a fountain, dyeing the deck red and dripping with fresh blood. In just 10 minutes, all the pirates on the pirate ship were killed. Not a single one was left alive, but on the human side, not a single one died, and even injuries were rare. Devour. At this moment, Xia Ping didn't follow the others to annihilate the remaining pirates. He stood on the deck and operated the energy in his body. At this moment, his soul seemed to have turned into a dark vortex, emerging from the void. This is a vision that human eyes can't see. Under such a dark vortex, the dead merpeople's souls turned into gray energy that was quickly absorbed by the vortex. It crazily devoured, refined, absorbed, and then transformed into pure soul energy. This is the soul-devouring power he obtained from the soul-devouring beast. Whenever a creature is killed, the moment before they die, they will always disperse a large amount of soul energy. Under normal circumstances, they will disappear from this world and return to nature. But with the unique ability of the soul-devouring beast, It can absorb the dispersed soul energy, constantly refining it, and then transforming it into soul energy that suits its own, strengthening its own soul force. What a rich soul force! Xia Ping closed his eyes. He felt a warm current coming from all directions, like a small river, pouring into the depths of his soul, constantly strengthening his soul force. He felt his soul seem to be growing little by little, thriving. Even if it doesn't increase his aura energy, it can still increase his soul force. This is an unprecedented benefit. In the distant sea, a dozen kilometers away, Shark 17 floated up, his face gloomy to the extreme. He looked at his pirate ship in flames, its flag collapsed, and its screams gradually weakened. He knew that this time all the pirates that followed him were finished. With that despicable and shameless human here, it was impossible for any of his subordinates to survive. Damned human Wu-Ning, I won't let you go, I absolutely won't. Shark 17 gnashed his teeth, his heart dripping blood. His elite officers were all dead, his pirate ship was lost, and he himself was seriously injured. This was an unprecedented loss. It could be said that his decades of accumulation were all gone today. If he could, he simply wanted to immediately dismember that human's corpse into 1,000 pieces. But he felt a faint pain in his body. The human's palm strike had almost shattered his lungs. If it weren't for the powerful body of a shark, that palm would have been enough to send him to the Western Paradise. Even if he wanted to retaliate now, it would be impossible. Human Wu-Ning, I will remember you. The next time we meet, it will be the day of your death. Shark 17 gnashed his teeth. He had never suffered such a big loss in his life. Chapter 774. Mr. Wu, thank you so much. Without you, we wouldn't have been able to take revenge. After cleaning up all the pirates on the pirate ship, a group of people came to Xia Ping, and all of them showed gratitude and excitement. If Xia Ping didn't take action, it was estimated that with their strength, they would be just a dish in front of these pirates. Some of them even looked ashamed. Just now, they thought that this young man was a fake, a playboy who only knew how to use his family's money to make a name for himself. They didn't expect his strength to be so terrifying. Even if he was alone, he could destroy a group of pirates. Such strength was not something small people like them could criticize. They were simply gauging the heart of a gentleman with their own mean measures. You're too polite. It's nothing. Everyone has the right to kill pirates. This is also the duty of us martial artists. Xia Ping waved his hand, showing a very humble look. As expected of Mr. Wu, you're really a master. If there were a few more grandmasters like Mr. Wu in the Endless Sea, there would be no need to worry about the pirates. That's right. It's a pity that Shark 17 slipped away. Otherwise, we could really wipe them all out. Some people felt that it was a pity. They were just one step away from killing Shark 17, but at the critical moment, they still let that bastard escape. It was really a pity. If they could kill Shark 17 while they were at it, it would be perfect. Don't worry. Shark 17 can't escape. His whereabouts have long been exposed. Even if he escapes to the ends of the earth, I can catch him, Xia Ping said lightly, his eyes shining. If he wanted to kill Shark 17, he would have already done so. Even if he took out that bomb, he wouldn't be able to escape. But if he killed Shark 17 now, the other party's nest and the treasures in it would never see the light of day. How could he do such a thing to waste treasures? Therefore, he let Shark 17 escape back to his nest. Then, Xia Ping followed them all the way to their lair and took all the treasures in one go. What? Did Mr. Wu install a tracking device on him? Sure enough, Mr. Wu. That's amazing. In this way, Shark 17 is dead. Mr. Wu got rid of a big threat for everyone. Everyone was shocked. They looked at Xia Ping with incomparable surprise. This was far beyond their expectations. Everyone, let's part ways here. Xia Ping looked at the crowd. Although the previous cruise ship is broken, there is a pirate ship here. You can use this ship to go back to the port. and I will chase after Shark 17. Although he didn't install a tracking device on Shark 17, he still remembered the other party's scent. Then, he used the 10,000 miles tracking technique to quickly find the other party's whereabouts. No matter how that fellow fled, he would not be able to escape his pursuit. What? Everyone was incomparably shocked. They wanted to ask Xia Ping how he was going to chase after Shark 17, but before they could ask, Xia Ping interrupted them. Boom! A small battleship immediately descended from the sky. It was completely silver and looked like a goddess of the moon. It gave off a dazzling radiance and looked incredibly holy. This warship was none other than the moon god. It also came out with Xia Ping. Through the invisibility system, it hid its body and floated in the air, merging with the clouds. It could support him at any time, just in case. Even if an old monster from the Blood Shark Pirates appears, he can use the power of the battleship to annihilate the other party. He has already prepared a complete plan. Whoosh! In the next second, a white beam of light descended from the battleship, creating a huge traction force. In an instant, Xia Ping was pulled up and soon disappeared from everyone's eyes. Everyone was stunned as they watched Xia Ping board the battleship and leave this place. At this time, in another sea area, a battleship was sailing fast. More than 20 grandmasters appeared on it, wearing red military uniforms with the word Sin on the back. They were surrounded by a blood-red murderous aura. These grandmasters were at least at the first sky of Grandmaster Realm, and the strongest was at the fourth sky of Grandmaster Realm. Moreover, each of them looked fierce, with hooked noses and slanted eyes. They didn't look like good people. If Xia Ping was here, he would definitely recognize 2 or 3 of these grandmasters. They were Zhang Xiang, Qin Boning, and Sha Sunlin. Impressively, they were one of the group of core students who were punished by the giant company during the genius battle because of Xia Ping. They were banished to the endless sea and forced to join the sinful army. Captain Zhang, a man with a knife scar, opened his mouth and said, "Is the news true? Is the nest of the Blood Shark Pirates, which is ranked 98th in the endless sea, really in this foggy island nearby?" Zhang Xiang nodded and said, "It's true. Our sinful army captured an elite member of the Blood Shark Pirates before. After torture, he finally broke down and told us." Not only did he tell us the location of the Blood Shark Pirates, but also the distribution of their forces. This information is undoubtedly correct. It's a great opportunity for our sinful army to annihilate the Blood Shark Pirate. There was a hint of coldness in his eyes. If it's true, we can kill these pirates. How many credits and elixirs can we get? Maybe we can leave the sinful army soon. He was extremely excited and clenched his fists. Don't dream. If you want to leave the sinful army, you need an astronomical number of credit. There may be a slight possibility of killing the top 50 pirate group. Just killing the Blood Shark Pirates is far from enough. Zhang Xiang sneered. The man with a knife scar was very helpless. He also knew that Zhang Xiang was right. The higher the ranking of the pirate group, the more terrifying their strength. Their captains are all kings. It's no different from a dream to annihilate a pirate of this level. If they encounter such a pirate, they won't even have time to escape. Most of the people who join the sinful army are villains, murderers, robbers, or criminals who have committed various felonies. Under normal circumstances, they are bound to die. But in order to maximize their value, the government still let them join the sinful army and use their merits to make up for their mistakes. However, it's not so simple to get credit and save yourself from death. Such credit alone is enough to make these criminals desperate. But it's rumored that the head of the Blood Shark Pirates is a master of the 4th level of the Supreme Power Realm. Moreover, he has many strong subordinates. He even arranged many backups in his nest. Qin Boning said in a deep voice, "Even if we know the location of the enemy's nest, if we go in rashly, we won't be able to kill him. Instead, we may be killed by him." Chapter 775. Don't worry about this. Zhang Xiang smiled slightly. Now the enemy is in the light and we are in the dark. It is a great opportunity. We don't need to fight them head-on. In order to deal with the blood shark pirates, I prepared a bottle of jellyfish venom. This kind of venom, as long as one drop, its toxicity can poison tens of thousands of lives. Even a grandmaster can't resist it. At that time, we sneak into the blood shark pirates' lair and secretly poison their water source. This poison is colorless and tasteless. Those pirates will never find it. When these pirates die of poison, then we will make a move. I think we can catch them. He took out a bottle of transparent poison. Amazing, as expected of Captain Zhang, you can even take out this kind of poison. It must be valuable. Captain Zhang is a descendant of the famous Zhang family. It's child's play to take out this kind of strange poison. It seems that following Captain Zhang is the right thing to do. We are lucky. The people present were flattering Zhang Xiang again and again. They admired Zhang Xiang very much and their eyes lit up. Everyone was very convinced and thought that it was easy to kill those pirates. They are all real villains, murderers, the kind of people who do all kinds of evil. All of them are unruly. It is not so easy to convince them. The reason why Zhang Xiang can become the captain of this team is not only because he is strong enough, but also because his family's power can provide him with a lot of help, which greatly increases the chance of survival. Therefore, these members have to be convinced and let Zhang Xiang be the captain and listen to his orders. This plan is good. At that time, we don't need to spend any effort to annihilate this group of pirates, and we don't need to fight with them. You are indeed Brother Zhang. Chen Boning admired him, and his eyes showed a trace of greed. I heard that this pirate group has been running rampant in the endless sea for decades. I don't know how much wealth they have plundered. They are extremely rich. If we can annihilate this pirate group, I don't know how many elixirs, and all kinds of treasures we can get. It seems that we are going to make a fortune this time. He wanted to take the treasures of this pirate group as his own. Make a fart. Sha Sunlin sneered. If we dare to run away with these treasures, the smart iron rings on our necks will be detonated in less than 3 seconds. We will die without a whole body. How can we run? Are we courting death? He pointed at the silver steel ring around his neck. This silver steel ring was tightly tied around his neck, like Sun Wukong's band-tightening spell. There was no way to get rid of it, and it was also equipped with terrifying explosives. Once it detonated, it would be enough to blow them into pieces. This was also a method prepared by the Sin Army. After all, the people who joined the Sin Army were basically all prisoners on death row. They wanted to escape at all times, so the higher-ups installed self-exploding steel rings on them. If he discovered anyone trying to escape, he would immediately detonate it and kill the prisoner. Up until now, none of the prisoners had been able to escape with this method. Once they tried to escape, they would be detonated and killed on the spot, leaving nothing behind. Hearing this, the expressions of the surrounding people became gloomy. They also felt very displeased. This thing was no different from a dog's necklace. It controlled one's life and death, and there was no way to resist. There's no need to be so nervous. Zhang Xiang waved his hand. Why do we need to escape with these treasures? In fact, we can fill our own pockets and swallow most of the treasures of these pirates. Anyway, it's impossible for the higher-ups to know how many treasures there are in the pirate group. We can just randomly say a number, or say that when we escape, the pirates will detonate the treasury, and all the treasures will be gone. They can't do anything about it. With these training resources, our training speed will be faster. Even if we become the king, we will have a higher chance. At that time, we can openly leave the Sin Army. The eyes of the surrounding people brightened, and they felt that it was very reasonable. Yes, Captain Zhang is right. This sentence is very reasonable. Why can't we fill our own pockets? People must know how to fish. If they don't, they would have starved to death long ago. Indeed, relying on the provisions given by the Sin Army, when will it be enough for us to train? A horse won't get fat without grass at night, and a man won't get rich without a windfall. No wonder he is the son of a rich man. The young master of the Zhang family is indeed better at making money than us uncouth people. Just a random idea can make our brains full of fat. One by one, the grandmasters nodded and felt that this idea was good. Their eyes lit up, and they couldn't wait to immediately break into the blood shark pirates' nest and wantonly plunder. Yes, we must leave the Sin army as soon as possible. Every time we carry out a mission, we don't know when it will end. If we are unlucky, I'm afraid we will really die. Chen Boning nodded, and his face was solemn. After they joined the Sin army, every time they carried out an extremely dangerous mission. If they were not fighting with fierce and cruel pirates, they would enter a dangerous place to explore. Until now, several corps students who joined the Sin army with them had died under the mission again and again. If they were unlucky and encountered a dangerous enemy, it was estimated that they would die like this. Damn, it's all that hateful Xiaoping's fault. If it weren't for this son of a bitch who did all kinds of evil and made trouble out of nothing, we wouldn't have ended up like this. Sha Sunlin gnashed his teeth. Chen Boning clenched his fists. I heard that he is doing very well now, and he made a name for himself in the celestial demon battlefield. He extorted many demon kings and obtained several trillion in wealth. He is simply overflowing with wealth. It is said that he has become a core member of the giant corporation and a core student of Yanhuang University. He has a bright future, and many big shots think highly of him. Now he has come to the giant city of the Endless Sea, and he plans to come here to train and advance to the King realm. When he thought of his current experience and compared it with Xia Ping's glorious resume and incomparably bright future, he was so angry that his teeth itched. He simply wanted to catch Xia Ping immediately and peel his skin and tendons. Advance my ass. Zhang Xiang, who was originally wise and steady, couldn't help but curse when he heard the name Xia Ping. He was a little flustered and exasperated. If he eats shit, he still wants to advance to the King realm. Why doesn't he go to heaven? Does he think that the King realm is some strange realm that anyone can advance to? Although his talent is good, there are many talented geniuses in this world, but they are also stuck in this realm, unable to break through for dozens of years. I think that kid is no exception. He cursed fiercely. Alright, don't talk about that son of a bitch. It's bad luck just talking about it. It's like we met some god of plague. Sha Senlin's face was gloomy and dark as if he had eaten shit. Just you wait. That kid is also in the Endless Sea. If I meet him, he will definitely die. I will risk my life to kill him. Chen Boning was full of killing intent. Of course we have to kill him, but let's not care about this now. We should quickly go to the blood shark pirate's nest and fill our pocket. Zhang Xiang also calmed down. Whoosh. Chapter 776. In midair, the moon god is flying slowly. At this time, Xia Ping is sitting cross-legged in the practice room of the moon god, running qigong, carefully understanding the gains he has made during this period, and then digesting and absorbing them into his own martial arts. By the way, Xia Ping clenched his fists. It's time to exchange for the 4th level of the Dark North Body Protection Technique and the 7 Arrows Technique. I should be able to cultivate them when I reach the Supreme Power Realm. He is looking forward to it. These 2 techniques have surpassed the king level. He doesn't know what realm they have reached. If he can comprehend them carefully, he will definitely gain a lot. Ding! Immediately, Xia Ping's mind moved and immediately exchanged for the 4th level of these 2 techniques. He spent a total of 40 million hatred points, and he still has 215 million hatred points left. This hatred point is already a drop in the bucket for him. Rumble, the moment the exchange was successful, the majestic information immediately poured into Xia Ping's mind, and countless mysterious words and images flashed in the depths of his soul, making him remember it very deeply. This is enlightenment. So, this is the 4th level of the Dark North Body Protection Technique. Xiaoping ran the new Qigong roadmap, and he found that the fourth level was more than 10 times stronger than the third level. Before, it was just the way of true essence, but now it is the way of Gangqi. Not to mention anything else, the density of the condensed Qi shield is many times stronger than before. If you have to compare it, it was just pig iron before, but now it is steel that has been tempered. Huh! When Xiaoping ran the fourth level of the Dark North Body Protection Technique, the Gang Qi condensed and turned into an Qi shield. A large amount of black aura seemed to appear, as if his whole body was surrounded, condensing into a small black hole. Any power attack on this black Qi shield will be quickly swallowed, like a koan pung, swallowing and nibbling, absorbing all the energy clean. Too strong. Xiaoping's eyes showed a glimmer of light. If the third level of the technique is only to rebound the enemy's power, then the fourth level of the technique is to absorb. This is not an ordinary absorption, but does not distinguish any energy or any substance, like a divine beast Taotai, absorbing all the power of the opponent's attack and turning it into his own. If it is the previous Dark North Body protecting art, when it encounters some special energy attacks, it cannot be absorbed at all. It will be indigestible, and it can only be transferred to other places, constantly unloading the tyrannical force. If it couldn't be dispelled, it would harm the body and cause serious damage to the lungs. But now it was completely different. He operated the Dark North Body protection art. It was as if he had smelted a black hole, swallowing everything. Any attack power would be devoured cleanly and completely refined. The fourth level of the head nailing 7 arrows art is also extremely powerful. Xiaoping clenched his fists tightly. He discovered that this cultivation method's use of stellar energy was simply exquisite to the extreme. It had reached a perfect realm and was almost miraculous. Xiao. With a thought, he instantly channeled his Gang Qi and condensed it into a dagger. He immediately threw it out. With a thud, it instantly hit a wooden board 100 meters away from the practice room and nailed it accurately on it. However, the moment the dagger was shot out, it seemed to disappear without a trace. It was as if it had disappeared from this world, and when it reappeared, it was in another dimension. Xiaoping was also shocked by this attack. Although he had only used a portion of his strength, he was still shocked by this martial skill. This is the supreme way of assassination. The attack was silent and there was not even a murderous aura. It was as if it was hidden in space. It was estimated that the enemy's heart would be pierced, and the enemy would not know what was going on. He would not even know how he died. It can be said that such a realm has touched a trace of the mystery of space, and the skill is close to the Tao. Previously, Xiaoping listened to the system's introduction. The most profound realm of this cultivation method could nail the enemy across countless spaces. He was a little skeptical and wondered how there could be such a tyrannical martial skill. But now that he has touched a trace of the mystery of the supreme assassination, he seems to have opened the door to a new world, as if the power above the king has also touched a trace. Boom! I don't know how long it took. Xiaoping continued to comprehend these two cultivation methods. Ran Qigong, and the Gang Qi in the Dantian's Sea of Qi also underwent a great transformation. At this moment, his entire body seemed to have turned into a black hole, and a giant koan pung appeared behind him. It opened its mouth and swallowed, and the surrounding heaven and earth yuan qi crazily surged into the koan pung. Boundless energy also flowed through his 108,000 pores, instantly entering his Dantian's Sea of Qi. After being refined by the solar furnace, it rapidly transformed into Gang Qi. This Gang Qi was like a flood dragon, swimming around his meridians and roaring, resonating with the blood and Qi in his body, producing an inconceivable amount of energy. When this new Gang Qi reached a certain level, almost reaching the limit of his body's capacity, one acupoint after another was instantly opened, as if some door had been smashed. Bang, bang, bang! Immediately, 2 or 3 acupoints were smashed open, completely opened. Large amounts of gang qi seemed to have found their home, and madly surged into them. After being refined by the pure yang immortal art, this gang qi was stained with the pure yang aura, transforming into numerous hell crows that resided in the depths of the acupoints, crying out. At the same time, Xia Ping's strength and mental energy also increased bit by bit. By the time he opened his eyes, the sun had already risen. It was high in the sky, and the night had passed just like that. However, he wasn't tired at all. Instead, he was in high spirits, feeling unprecedentedly good. After cultivating these two peerless cultivation techniques, Xia Ping felt that he was a lot stronger than before. At the same time, he had also thoroughly consolidated his martial Dao foundation. It's about time to track Shark 17. I reckon that he has already returned to his lair. I can't let him escape. Xia Ping clenched his fists. He finally began to track Shark 17. In the blink of an eye, another 4 hours passed. He followed Shark 17's scent, and after flying for who knew how many kilometers, he finally arrived at a place. Oh? This is the place? Xia Ping sat on the battleship, and through the battleship's scanning system, he immediately saw the scenery below. In the distance, he saw a unique sea region, and the surroundings were filled with black fog. People's eyes couldn't see anything more than 3 meters away, but with the battleship's scanning system, he could barely see a portion of it. There were many islands and reefs in this sea region, and if an ordinary ship entered, it would definitely crash. Chapter 777. It's indeed a good place to hide. Xia Ping looked at the foggy island. If he didn't have the 10,000-mile tracking technique, he probably wouldn't be able to track Shark 17. Even if he really followed the other party to this island, with the natural fog, people who were not familiar with this place would be at a loss. Even if he brought 100,000 troops, they might be buried. Taking a step back, the enemy's strength is too tyrannical. The blood shark pirates can rely on this dangerous place to escape without worrying about being surrounded by the enemy. Go in. Xia Ping jumped off the battleship. He placed the battleship in mid-air and sneaked into the foggy island alone. In an instant, he disappeared into the endless fog. For ordinary people, it is easy to get lost in such a fog, but he has the golden crow's eye, which can see through all illusions and even has the power of X-ray vision. A mere fog is nothing to him. The aura seems to be interrupted here. Xia Ping tracked all the way to a remote reef. This place seems to be a whirlpool of seawater, surrounded by many reefs, making this place form a lake of tens of kilometers. The surrounding black fog lingered, and from time to time, there would be raging waves hitting the shore. It seems to be a dangerous place without any signs of human habitation. What's going on? Shark 17's aura disappeared in this place, but there is no place to hide around. Where is he hiding? Xia Ping looked around, but he didn't find any trace of the blood shark pirate's lair. With a bang, he subconsciously used the golden crow's eye of hell. Immediately, a special energy gushed out of his eyes, as if a sun was rotating in his pupils. Soon, a golden light shot out and instantly penetrated the fog in this area. Shockingly, a completely different change had occurred in this area. This dangerous lake had transformed into an enormous island that was filled with the singing of birds and the fragrance of flowers. It was lush and verdant, and it was even to the extent that there were countless forts and luxurious buildings standing in a forest. So that's how it is. Xia Ping suddenly realized. This is also a natural formation. It has an illusion, which is integrated with the surrounding reefs and seawater, resulting in all kinds of illusions. I reckon that even a grandmaster would not be able to tell that there is a huge island hidden here. If it wasn't for my golden crow's eye of hell, which allows me to see through illusions, I might have really been fooled. Thinking of this, he stepped on the surface of the sea and walked toward the entrance of the formation without hesitation. Xia Ping immediately sensed some sort of invisible power blocking his path, but he quickly drew on his energy arts and unleashed Empyrean energy that shattered the power. In the next second, he disappeared on the spot and appeared on an island. This is the lair of the Blood Shark pirates. After Xia Ping entered the island, he found that the island was not small. It was estimated to be dozens of kilometers in diameter, and there were many buildings everywhere, including luxurious palaces and beautiful houses. In this era, building a house couldn't be simpler. A 3D printed machine could be used to build it in a day, no matter how beautiful it was. Although the seafloor race did not have the technology that humans had, they could trade, which was equivalent to having the technology to build all sorts of buildings at any time. When Xia Ping broke the formation and forced his way through, the air was filled with strong energy fluctuations. Immediately, the pirates who lived here discovered it and were immediately alarmed. "Who is it? How dare you trespass on the Blood Shark Island? Do people nowadays have no idea of death? Enemy attack, enemy attack. Quickly send people over to encircle and annihilate the enemy. Everyone pay attention, there is only one enemy." "What? Only one person dares to trespass on the Blood Shark Island? Does he want to die? Kill him. Skin him and pull out his tendons. Teach this invader a lesson. Kill the chicken to scare the monkey." Suddenly, the pirates on the Blood Shark Island shouted and clamored madly. They only had one way to deal with the invader, and that was to kill without mercy. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. In the blink of an eye, the pirates on the Blood Shark Island swarmed out like locusts. There were at least hundreds and thousands of pirates appearing, which looked very astonishing. Although Shark 17 had brought a considerable number of elites to sneak attack before, there were also many pirate elites left on the island to guard the door. This was a number that should not be underestimated. Ordinary warriors entering this place was simply entering a dragon's pool and tiger's den. Fool! Xia Ping would not hold back. These pirates did all kinds of evil and killed people like flies. The number of innocent people who died in their hands was enough to form a small mountain. It would not be an exaggeration to say that there was a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. Even if these pirates died 10,000 times, it would not be a pity. Soul-sucking bell. He took a step forward and poured his psychic power into the soul-sucking bell. Previously, he had absorbed the souls of a large number of dead pirates, which greatly increased his soul power. The power of the soul-sucking bell also increased with it, covering a radius of 2 to 3 kilometers. Boom! In an instant, with Xia Ping's body as the center, a huge psychic shock was produced, sweeping in all directions like a wave, pushing forward layer by layer. Bang bang bang! Facing such a psychic attack, these pirates were more fragile than babies. It was as if their souls were being attacked by swords and spears, almost tearing their souls apart. Ah! One by one, they let out mournful screams. Some were foaming at the mouth and fell to the ground, unconscious. Some were holding their heads and rolling on the ground, screaming in pain. Some were bleeding from their 7 orifices. They were seriously injured and turned into idiot. Go to hell! Xia Ping grabbed with his big hand, and the pure yang immortal art on his body operated. A large number of flames gushed out from the 108,000 pores under his control. Black fireballs suddenly appeared in the air. This was the fireball bomb he learned from the Sky Demon battlefield. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. With a backhand slap, these black fireballs flew quickly like a big bird. In an instant they smashed into these pirates and immediately caused a shocking explosion. Rumble, the explosive power of these black fireballs was extremely strong. All of a sudden, a huge deep pit was blasted out, and the soil was splattered everywhere. The surrounding buildings were blasted by the shock wave and collapsed, turning into ruins. And the pirates were the most miserable. Originally, they were knocked unconscious by the soul-sucking bell and had no power to resist. Now that they were attacked by the black fireballs, their whole bodies were blown into pieces. One by one, the pirates were blown into meat sauce, and there were no bones left. In just a few breaths, none of the pirates present could stand up. They were either killed on the spot or seriously injured. Bastard! At this time, Shark 17, who was in the depths of the palace, finally couldn't sit still. He instantly jumped out and arrived in front of Xia Ping like a cannonball. Chapter 778. How did you find Blood Shark Island? Shark 17's eyes almost popped out of their sockets when he saw Xia Ping again. The location of Blood Shark Island was extremely well hidden. Shark 17 had even taken a detour on his way back to confuse people and cut off all tracking. Even if the other party managed to find the location of Blood Shark Island, it would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens to pinpoint the exact location of Blood Shark Island, as it was a natural maze formation. Not to mention, Blood Shark Island itself was covered by a formation. It was the most hidden of all secrets. But this kid was actually able to accurately find this place. This was simply unimaginable. If this guy wasn't a human, Shark 17 would have thought that there was a spy on his side. It doesn't matter how you found it. You just need to know one thing, and that is that you will die today. Xia Ping looked at Shark 17 indifferently, his eyes filled with killing intent. You want me, Shark 17, to die? Puny human, do you think you're qualified? Shark 17 roared and instantly took out a blood-colored flag. Suddenly, the entire world seemed to be filled with a terrifying blood aura that covered the sky and covered the earth. Vaguely, with the blood-red flag as the center, a radius of 2 to 3 kilometers was surrounded by the blood-red aura. It was as if they had fallen into an endless hell. The weeds and trees on the ground seemed to be corroded by the blood-red aura. They rapidly withered and turned into withered grass. Or rather, they were withered wood that had their life force sucked away. Even the yellow ground seemed to be corroded and turned red. The corpses of the dead pirates seemed to be completely devoured and turned into blood-red aura. Then, this aura was madly absorbed by the flag. Ghostly wails and wolf-like howls could be heard in the void. Skeletons also appeared on the ground. Treasure? Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. He could immediately tell that the blood-red flag was a treasure. Moreover, it was a demonic treasure with boundless power and terrifying destructive might. Are you afraid? Shark 17 sneered. Don't think that you're the only one with a treasure. I didn't bring the blood fiend flag with me. That's why you got what you wanted. Now that I have a treasure, how can a puny human like you be a match for me? Boom! As soon as it finished speaking, it waved the flag of evil in its hand. With a wave of the flag, a bloody wind was created. The wind howled and ghosts cried. This baleful blood aura was one of the most sinister auras in the world. Once it came into contact with a living being, it would immediately have a terrifying effect of corroding the body and soul. Even stellar energy could not withstand it, and it specialized in breaking stellar energy. By relying on this flag, Shark 17 was simply invincible. He slaughtered in all directions and moved unhindered through the ocean, and he didn't know how to behead his enemies. It was a powerful supreme treasure. However, in order to maximize the power of this blood fiend flag, it had to use the blood and souls of living beings as a sacrifice, merging them into the flag and transforming them into blood fiend chi. Because of this, every time it went out to sea to plunder, it would kill everyone and use ordinary people as sacrifices to refine its blood fiend flag and increase its power. For the sake of this treasure, it had killed people like flies, and it was unknown just how many lives it had harmed. Die! Shark 17's expression was ferocious. He circulated the demonic energy in his body and poured it all into the flag. He hated Xia Ping to the extreme, and he wanted nothing more than to peel off his skin and pull out his tendons. If it wasn't for this hateful human, he wouldn't be in such a miserable state. Countless of his elite subordinates had died tragically, and his proud subordinates had been killed. The power he had built up over the years had been destroyed in a day. This was no less than the hatred of killing one's father and stealing one's wife. When the flag moved, it seemed to attract the baleful blood aura in the world, forming a blood fiend flood dragon. It roared loudly and attacked Xia Ping, trying to devour him completely. The rocks on the ground were instantly shaken into powder. Along the way, countless weeds and trees were completely corroded, and all their vitality was stolen. Dark North Body Protection Art. Facing this treasure that specialized in breaking stellar energy, Xia Ping was unmoved. He circulated the Dark North Body Protection Art, and a Koan Pung appeared behind him. It flew around the world like a supreme divine beast had descended. It opened its mouth and swallowed. It seemed like Xia Ping's body had turned into a black hole, producing an extreme suction force. What? This human has gone mad. Shark 17's eyes almost popped out of their socket. When ordinary humans faced this baleful blood aura, which one of them wouldn't flee in panic, afraid that they would be corroded by the baleful blood aura and damage their martial foundations. But this brat was so arrogant that he had no boundaries. He actually took the initiative to devour the baleful blood aura. If Shark 17 hadn't seen the intelligence of this human before, he would have thought that this human had gone mad. Rumble Xia Ping didn't care about Shark 17's shock. After cultivating the 4th level of the Dark North Body Protection Art, his defensive abilities had reached an inconceivable level. Even if this baleful blood aura had miraculous effects on ordinary lifeforms, it was useless against him. Once all the strange energies entered his body, they would be completely refined and absorbed by the sun furnace. Shark 17 was simply dreaming if he wanted to use the baleful blood aura to deal with him. Walala! At this moment, he was like a Koan Pung swallowing everything in its path. The majestic baleful blood aura was devoured into his stomach, and all of it was poured into the sun furnace. The essence of the sun, the fire of life, and various other flames burned within the sun furnace. In an instant, the sinister energy within the baleful blood aura was completely refined and expelled through his pores. Only the energy that was beneficial to the human body was left. Bang! After obtaining such an abundant amount of energy, Xia Ping's astral qi increased greatly. He actually took advantage of this opportunity to break through another acupoint, refining his body and strengthening his astral qi. He can really absorb it, and he even became stronger. This human is simply a monster. Is there any justice in this world? What exactly is the human body made of? Shark 17 was so depressed that he wanted to vomit blood. He had used the blood fiend flag precisely to kill this damned human. But who would have thought that the baleful blood aura was completely useless against this human? Instead, it was completely absorbed by him, and at the same time, his cultivation base and astral qi were also strengthened. This was simply giving aid to the enemy, helping the enemy become stronger. Shark 17 felt that there was nothing more sullen than this. It was simply unheard of. Flee! Shark 17's face turned green. Even the blood fiend flag couldn't kill this human. What other methods did he have? If he continued to stay here, he would most likely be killed by this human, and even his head would be taken away. He instantly put away the blood fiend flag, and the entire world revolved, wrapping around his body. In an instant, he borrowed the power of the blood fiend flag to transform into a tornado, fleeing into the distance. His fleeing speed was extremely fast, breaking through the sound barrier. Chapter 779. Just you wait, damned human, Shark 17 said hatefully. You actually killed me like a stray dog. I must take revenge. When I return to the Shark Clan, I'll gather all my brothers and send an army to the border. The next time we meet, I'll make sure your blood flows like a river and you pay the price of destroying the world. You killed one of my brothers, so I'll kill a ship full of humans. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, blood for blood. His hatred was overflowing, and he wanted to take revenge after leaving. Even if he couldn't kill this human, Xia Ping, he would kill those ordinary humans. He had to take revenge, or else he wouldn't be able to swallow this anger. Still want to run? Dream on. Xia Ping's eyes flashed with a cold light. He moved his body and circulated his qigong. His astral energy surged and condensed into an extremely sharp dagger. Under the sunlight, it flickered with a cold light, as if it could cut through iron like mud. What is this thing? Shark 17 didn't know why, but he instinctively felt that the dagger was extremely dangerous. It was as if he was being targeted by the scythe of the Grim Reaper. No matter where he ran, he couldn't escape. He felt that his entire body was enveloped by this human's mental power. His chi was locked, and he had nowhere to run. Faster, faster! Shark 17 gritted his teeth and frantically activated the Blood Evil flag. A terrifying blood evil energy wrapped around his body, forming a gale that he fled into the distance. It was like a hurricane sweeping through everything. Along the way, a shocking mark was left on the ground. Soil flew in all directions, and buildings on the island collapsed. Head nailing 7 arrows art, die for me. Xia Ping activated the head nailing 7 arrows art, and his mental power instantly permeated the dagger, reaching the realm of being one with it. He completely fused with it and resonated with heaven and earth. Whoosh! In an instant, the dagger was thrown out and disappeared. It was as if the dagger had escaped into the void and entered another dimension. There wasn't even a sound of it tearing through the air. In the next second, the dagger appeared in front of Shark 17. How is this possible? Shark 17's hair stood on end, and he had goosebumps all over his body. He never thought that a hidden weapon could get so close to him without him noticing. This was simply impossible. Because one had reached Zhongshe realm, one would possess an extremely high spiritual sense. With the spread of one's mental energy, one would be able to detect even the slightest movement in the surroundings. However, at this moment one could not detect anything at all. This was simply the strongest assassination technique, a peerless blade. In fact, this dagger was not simple at all. It was condensed from Xia Ping's astral energy and compressed to the extreme. Once it exploded, its power would be boundless. Even a grandmaster would be killed on the spot. Dong! In the blink of an eye, the dagger was indestructible. It pierced through Shark 17's protective astral energy and shattered the blood aura around him. Ah! Shark 17 let out a blood-curdling scream. His body was in midair, and he couldn't dodge at all. He could only watch as the dagger pierced his body. When it wanted to activate the power of the Bloodfiend flag, it would completely shatter this dagger. But unexpectedly, after the dagger entered Shark 17's body, it immediately expanded, and the tyrannical stellar energy exploded on the spot. It was as if several hundred tons of explosives had exploded at the same time. Boom! In the blink of an eye, Shark 17's huge body exploded into pieces. Blood sprayed all over the ground as if it was free, dyeing the entire area red. His limbs were scattered in all directions, and a huge cloud of mist rose into the air like a mushroom. The endless airflow condensed into substance and turned into shock waves that swept in all directions, crushing the nearby buildings and razing them to the ground. Even the stones were turned to dust. The Bloodfiend flag in his hand fell to the ground. Shark 17 was dead. He's finally dead. Xia Ping stood on the ground and grabbed the Bloodfiend flag with one hand. Using his astral energy with the other, he grabbed Shark 17's head and placed it on the ground. The head of the pirate boss was very important because it was proof that he had completed the mission. Only by bringing Shark 17's head back to the company could he prove that he had completed the mission. Without the head, it would take a lot of effort to prove that he had completed the mission. At this moment, many Zhongshe realm masters suddenly appeared in midair. They were like a huge bird that controlled the airflow and flew over at an extremely fast speed. When they saw the large number of corpses on the ground and Shark 17's head, they were all overjoyed. Haha, I didn't expect our luck to be so good this time. We just arrived at the Blood Fiend Island and we ran into this group of pirates. They are all dead. Heaven is helping me. Heaven is really helping me. As the saying goes, the mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. Kid, hand over the Blood Fiend flag immediately and we will spare your life. Each and every one of the Zhongshe Realm Masters was ruthless. They actually attacked Xia Ping in an instant. Tyrannical astral energy vibrated and condensed into large swords, ropes, flying swords, and even big hands. These astral energies bombarded Xia Ping with the power to raise the entire area to the ground. Who is it? Xia Ping's eyes revealed a trace of coldness. He didn't expect that a group of Zhongshe Realm Masters would appear at this time. It was obvious that this group of Zhongshe Realm Masters were not members of the Blood Shark Pirates, nor were they reinforcements. Like him, they were also people who planned to attack the Blood Shark Pirate. However, he didn't expect that right after he killed the Blood Shark Pirates, this group of people would attack him. It seemed that they wanted to take advantage of the situation and be the oriole that appeared last. But how could Xia Ping let this group of people do this? He had worked hard and used several schemes just to complete the task of killing this group of pirates, plundering their treasures, and making a windfall. Now, these people wanted to take advantage of the situation without doing anything. They even planned to kill people and take their treasures. How could he tolerate this kind of thing? In this world, people who could take advantage of him had not been born yet. In the blink of an eye, Xia Ping immediately attacked. With a palm strike, all the astral energy in his body burst out. It was earth-shattering and seemed to have the power to reverse the universe. Dong! In the void, a big hand of astral energy ruthlessly attacked these forces. The two collided in a frenzy, like a comet hitting the earth, causing an earth-shattering explosion. Immediately, a huge deep pit was blasted on the ground. The soil splashed everywhere. The astral energy condensed into a substance and turned into wind blades, sweeping in all directions, abruptly leaving countless traces. The group of people didn't expect Xia Ping to be so terrifying. This kind of vigorous astral energy was incredibly powerful. It was like an avalanche. Suddenly, they were shaken to the point that their blood and qi were tumbling, and they retreated again and again. Chapter 780. Who are you? Why did you attack me so viciously? Xia Ping looked at these uninvited guests with an unfriendly expression. Just this sneak attack alone was enough for them to die 10,000 times. Xia Ping! Suddenly, someone shouted, "Isn't this brat Xia Ping?" He stared at Xia Ping as if he didn't expect to see this brat at this place. This was out of his expectation. That person was Zhang Ziong, and this group of people was the Sinful Army. Xia Ping? The group of people looked at Xia Ping. It was the first time for many of them to see this legendary genius. It was also because of this guy that Zhang Ziong and the others, young masters of influential families, were forced to join the Sinful Army and become prisoners on death row. It could be said that the two sides couldn't live under the same sky. You know me. Xia Ping frowned. He didn't think that one of the people who ambushed him would recognize him. I'll recognize you even if you turn into ashes. The man gritted his teeth. You've caused us so much trouble. You and I are absolutely irreconcilable in this life. We'll fight to the death. His tone revealed a terrifying hatred. Won't rest until you die? What did I do to offend you? Who doesn't know that I'm a very upright person and rarely offends people? Did you get the wrong person? Xia Ping said that he was a good person and rarely did things that offended people. Bullsh *T. That person's lungs were about to explode. With your conduct, you offended everyone in the world. Which one of them didn't hate you? Many of them wanted to kill you. There were even kings. But now, he was bragging that he was a good person. He was shameless to the extreme. However, what made him even more sullen was that this shameless bastard didn't recognize him. He was the one who caused him so much trouble and was sent to the border to join the Sinful Army. But now, this brat didn't remember anything. He didn't even know his name. Was there anything more sullen than this? It was too embarrassing. If you don't remember, I'll tell you. That person gritted his teeth. I'm one of the core students that you tricked into the sinful army and sent to the endless sea. My name is Zhang Ziong. He said it word by word, as if he wanted Xia Ping to remember his name for the rest of his life. So that's how it is. You guys are that group of core students from back then. I'm sorry, it's been too long. I've almost forgotten about this. Xia Ping suddenly realized. But didn't you guys join the sinful army? It's said that this is a death row prisoner army. Every time they carry out a mission, the death rate is as high as 99%. Why are you still alive? Could it be that they bribed you with money? He was very curious. Hearing this, Zhang Ziong and the others' faces turned green. This B**** touched their sore spot and asked them why they weren't dead yet. Wasn't he cursing them? The teammates around them all had the urge to kill Xia Ping. This bastard's mouth was too cheap. It made people unable to have even the slightest bit of good impression of him. Shut up! Zhang Ziong roared. Even if you die, I'm not dead yet. You want me, Zhang Ziong, to die just like that? How could it be so easy? I don't want to die. Even God can't stop me. But I didn't expect to meet you on the Blood Shark Island. It's true that Heaven's net has long arms. This is God helping me. It can be said that God still has eyes. He looked up to the sky and sighed with a feeling that his great hatred was about to be avenged. Heaven's net has long arms? You'll have a share if it's missed. Xia Ping waved his hand. Don't talk nonsense. Just now, you attacked me and tried to murder me. How are you going to settle this account? He showed a look as if he was going to interrogate them. Settle your ass. Chen Boning jumped out next to him. You're lucky that we didn't kill you just now. You actually want to settle this account with us. You're simply courting death. Do you know who you're talking to now? He stared at Xia Ping angrily as if he wanted to eat him. Of course I'm talking to a person. Are you talking to a dog? Xia Ping said disdainfully. If I'm not wrong, you should be the sinful army. You received a mission to destroy the Blood Shark pirate. But now I've beaten you to it. You've almost completed your mission. You're lucky. Otherwise, according to the strength of the Blood Shark pirates, it's not too much to kill you 100 times. But you're not grateful. You even want to bite the hand that feeds you and kill me. This is a great sin. Now I'm asking you for some compensation. Is it difficult for you? He looked at Chen Boning and others as if he was looking at some ungrateful and shameless villains. Bastard! Hearing these words, Zhang Ziong was so angry that his face suddenly turned red. He was furious. Xia Ping, don't think that now that you've been promoted to the Grandmaster level and have a little strength, you can act unscrupulously here. You said that with our strength, that group of pirates can kill us 100 times? You're crazy. When I was dominating the world, I didn't know which village you were hiding in. You're not qualified to look down on us. Let me tell you, no matter how glib your tongue is, you can't escape death today. He was full of murderous intent and showed his wild ambition. He thought that Xia Ping was just a martial master before. In front of him, this guy was like a piece of shit. But it didn't take long for him to be promoted to the Grandmaster level and be on an equal footing with him. Thinking of this, he was so jealous that his intestines turned green and his heart was unbalanced. In order to be promoted to the Grandmaster level, he didn't know how much effort and how much he had paid. Even so, he was trapped in this bottleneck for several years. But this kid was good. He casually broke through, as if there was no such thing as a bottleneck at all. If this continued, this brat's martial arts cultivation would surpass his, and he would be sitting on top of his head. That would be a sure thing. How could he accept this? You want to kill me? Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. You're the sinful army, the people of the government. You want to kill civilians. This is dereliction of duty. Aren't you afraid of being shot? He didn't expect this group of people to be so bold and dare to kill him. Shoot your sister. Chun Boning coldly laughed. We are all prisoners on death row. We will die sooner or later. Could it be that we are afraid of death now? Also, this is an isolated island with no one around. Even if we kill you and bury you here, no one will find out that we were the ones who did it. Who can punish us then? In other words, even if we kill you, your death will be in vain. No one will be able to save you. He clenched his fists tightly and cracked them. Xia Ping. A cold light flashed in Sha Senlin's eyes. There is no giant company here that can protect you. I want to see how you are going to bring out your backer,